Miami at Dolphins Stadium, where it's just under 90 degrees. The winds reaching as high as 15 miles an hour under a partly cloudy sky. As you take a look at 12th year head coach Jeff Fisher, former defensive back at USC. He played with Walter Payton with the Bears. Long coaching career. And there's Nick Saban, 11 years in college at Michigan State, a national championship at LSU in his second season as the coach of the Miami Dolphins. And he has sent his Olindo Mare at 33 years of age out to kick off. A pretty good touchback guy, as you can see in this season, already won. And he'll be kicking deep to Bobby Wade, the ex-Chicago Bear. It was a terrific performer at the University of Arizona. Is the heat going to be a factor today?
Kevin, it always is. A lot of these guys will actually take IVs before the game to ward off high dehydration.
It's the Dolphins, it's the Titans, and this one is kicked out of the end zone. His second touchback of the year, which leads us to 33-year-old Kerry Collins. They signed him off the street a couple weeks before the regular season started. What have you seen when you've watched tape of Collins?
Well, he's not started games particularly well. And again, last week they were horrible in the first half.
So from the 20-yard line, it's 1st and 10 for the Tennessee Titans. They line up with Travis Henry, a Florida native, in the backfield. Chris Brown is out with the toe. And Collins on 1st and 10 got a good block from Roos and throws incomplete, looking for the 6'5" Bennett, who is covered by Goodman on the side for Miami. It'll be 2nd down. Now on the line, Roos in his second year. They got the veterans Pillar, Mawai, and Olsen, and Jacob Bell is back starting at right tackle today. The wide receivers include Gibbons along with Bennett. Expect big days from Scaife and Troop, and Henry is starting in the backfield on a 2nd down and 10 from the 20. It's Travis Henry, the ex-Buffalo Bill, who is brought down by Allen and Zach Thomas, 29-yard line on a gain of 9.
And Kevin, there was a blitz there by the Dolphins, and the blitz have really been gashed when they blitzed in the running game.
Here's the defense, veterans right across the board. Zach Thomas is playing the middle. He just had that tackle, and he is flanked by Crowder and Donnie Sprague, the ex-Denver Bronco. And in the secondary, they've got Allen and Goodman at the corners, Hill and Tillman at the safeties. It's 3rd down and 1 from the 29. Third play of the game, Travis Henry. Wrapped up by Jason Taylor and brought down shy of the 1st down, a gain of about a ½ yard, and it's 3 and out to start things off for the Tennessee Titans.
And this is the last thing you want to see of the Tennessee Titans. 3 and out. Last week in the first half against San Diego, they had 15 total yards of offense, and they held the ball for 7 minutes. Their defense was on the field the complete half, and they were wore out, and they really had no energy, nothing left in their legs in the second half.
The Titans' all-time punter, Craig Hendrick, will be booting it to Wes Welker. Undrafted, but a guy who has made a splash as a special teams player in the NFL. He's also the 3rd receiver for the Miami Dolphins. Great pressure applied. They're caught 32-yard line by Welker, a 39-yard punt by Craig Hendrick, which leads us to 8-year veteran Daunte Culpepper, who says his weight is down from, 270 down to 253.
Yeah, he felt being a little bit lighter would help him, especially in his recovery from that knee surgery this offseason.
He's thrown a touchdown and 3 picks, and he's been sacked shockingly 10 times in 2 games.
Hey, Bear! Back up,
They begin it after the defense holds the Tennessee Titans to 3 and out. 1st and 10, 33-yard line on Miami's first possession. Dolphins losing here last week to Buffalo 16-6. And the Tennessee Titans were swatted out in San Diego last week by the Chargers. Little pitch, Ronnie Brown. And chased by Travis LeBoy after a gain of 3, sliding on the dirt out to the 36-yard line. You see the line. Jaycock starting for Benny Anderson at the right guard, the 4th different right guard they've had. Booker and Chambers are the wideouts. Brown in the backfield with Barnes, and the tight end is Randy McMichael.
Kevin, they want to simplify things a little bit offensively for Daunte Culpepper. He's been holding the ball, as we talked about in the opening, sacked 10 times. They got to find a way to get him in a rhythm early.
Justin Peel is the 2nd tight end, and a 2nd down and 7. And Ronnie Brown again. Brought down by middle linebacker Peter Sermon, who was outside last year, moves inside now on a gain of 3, and he's out to the 39. Vanden Bosch was a Pro Bowler a season ago with 12 sacks. They've got Sermon flanked by Thornton and Keith Bullock, the 4-time Pro Bowler outside. And a big change today, Pac-Man Jones goes to left cornerback instead of right.
Well, they trained him for this. It's eventually going to happen. He's their shutdown corner. He's the matchup guy, and they want to move him around so that he does a better job covering their best receiver.
Cortland Finnegan becomes the 5th defensive back. It's 3rd and 4. They need the 43. Bullock was in the way of the quarterback Culpepper, but Brown makes Sermon whiff. He runs outside and looks to have chiseled a first down on a gain of 5 on a 3rd and 4 out to the 43.
And that was all second effort, and they had him stopped, and they just weren't able to close the door on the sidelines. You watch Culpepper, he gets rid of the ball quick, he sees the pressure, and now they have him in the open field. They just can't bring down Ronnie Brown. You got to do a better job, Ronaldo Hill on the sidelines there, wrapping up and keeping him from getting the first down.
Back to the basic personnel on defense for Tennessee. It is a first down. First time the Dolphins have had it, 43-yard line. A fake to Suggs and another sack. Coming through now, Travis LeBoy, the former WAC Defensive Player of the Year, throwing Culpepper for a loss of 10 back to the 35.
And that's not even a question of his maneuverability. I mean, he's got no chance here. I mean, it's just kind of a structural flaw on the play. You turn Travis LeBoy free on the edge. Daunte Culpepper has nowhere to go with the ball, and he just has to pull it up and takes the sack in that situation.
11 sacks now on Culpepper this season. You can see most in the NFL. 2nd down and 19. Back at the 35. Welker becomes the slot receiver, the 3rd receiver. Finnegan is in as a 5th defensive back for the Titans. Outside to Welker. Grabbed by Finnegan. Knocked out of bounds. 45-yard line and a gain of 10.
Well, protection is going to be key for Daunte Culpepper today. You know, we talked about him being knocked down 16 times, sacked 10 coming into today's game. If you give him time in the pocket, he'll hurt you. He's not going to move around as much as he has in the past, but rhythm and timing is so important for Daunte Culpepper right now, especially considering the fact he's been knocked around so much this season.
Welker remains in the game as the 3rd receiver. 3rd down and 9 on the 45. Good block by Shelton for Culpepper. Dropped by McMichael, who is covered by Thornton. And Thornton, one of the reasons why they got him from Indy is because he was so good as a linebacker in pass coverage, number 50.
Yeah, and they're asking him to do some different things. He was a flow player, an over-the-top player in Indy, and now they're asking him to attack and be a downhill player. So it's been a little bit of adjustment for him, but you're right, Kevin. He is good in space. He's a great cover guy.
So Donnie Jones, who had one block last week, will punt it over to Pac-Man Jones, who was 10th last season in punt returns in the NFL. Denny with the long snap to Jones. And Pac-Man on the fly from the 11-yard line and knocked out of bounds on the play by Hill. Ronaldo Hill knocked him out. So it's an 8-yard return and a 44-yard punt, and we'll get our second look at Kerry Collins when we come back. Ago just nailed a 40-yard field goal after a Zach Thomas interception set up the great field possession, but the Titan defense held him out, and so here comes the kickoff from Maude, who averages over 20% of his kickoffs into a touchback realm, which is twice the NFL average. Looking for Wade. Here's his second of the day. So Kerry Collins, who threw an interception to Zach Thomas the last time out, comes out for his 3rd possession today. Collins threw a pick the last time out there to Zach Thomas from the 20 after the touchback, 1st and 10. Collins today 0 of 3 with an interception. 5 in the secondary for Miami. That is incomplete. Great pressure being put on by Will Allen from the corner. It's 2nd down and 10.
Well, Kevin, this stat, more than any other, is the reason why the Tennessee Titans right now are 0-2. You look at the completion percentage for the Titans as opposed to the opponents, and the quarterback rating, it's bad. And they got to figure out a way to get it turned around in a hurry, or this team is in danger of losing their 3rd straight game.
2nd down and 10. Travis Henry with no place to go. Brought down on the play by Matt Roth, 2 years out of Iowa, gain of 2 out to the 21. You take a look at Kerry Collins. He said idle, at least in NFL terms, most of the summer. He was trying to stay in shape, though, back in his home on the farm in Troy, North Carolina.
Yeah, he was throwing to high school kids. He had to work around their schedule. And the first day, he said the interesting thing was they didn't have gloves, and their hands got so sore and so red. The second day they came back, they had gloves. But just goes to show you, he was looking for someone to catch balls for him to get him ready for the season.
Daniels, a fifth Miami defensive back, 3rd and 8. 3 receivers out there for Collins, and this is caught by Williams at the 30-yard line. Banged down the play by Goodman. It's a gain of 8 on 3rd and 8, and very close. Let's see where they spot the ball. He got the first.
And in fairness to Kerry Collins, I don't want to be hard on him. He came into a very, very difficult situation, Kevin. And, you know, if you're not part of the all-season program, if you're not part of the on-the-field activities, the mini camps, the training camp, it's almost impossible to be completely comfortable in the new offensive system. And that's what Kerry Collins has been thrown into.
O'Scape is in motion. Basic defensive personnel for Miami. Travis Henry. Again, no place to go. Jason Taylor was there. Donnie Spragan was there. The middle linebacker, Zach Thomas, there for no gain, 30-yard line.
And the Tennessee Titans have to find a way, you know, to convert either 3rd and 1 we went back and looked at in the opening series. Good offensive football teams convert 3rd and 1s. And this offensive team right now is struggling. And, you know, you don't get any yards on 1st down. It makes it very difficult for the play call on the sidelines to dial up plays in 2nd and 1.
Linebacker Spragan has come out. Defensive back Travis Daniels is in. 2nd down 10, so 5 in the secondary. Henry tripped up, line of scrimmage. Channing Crowder was there after a gain of 3 to the 33-yard line. The defense of Miami has put their fingerprints on this game.
Yeah, and it started off in the first series with that stop on 3rd and 1 and forcing Tennessee to punt. And then you come out in the second series, Jason Taylor gets upfield like he normally does, and there's Zach Thomas for the interception. Those two guys have made more plays for the Dolphins over the last 8 or 9 years than any other players on this football team.
Jeremiah Bell, the 6th defensive back, put in for Miami. Bobby Wade, the 3rd receiver for the Titans. 3rd and 7. They need the 40. Collins hit by Taylor. Caught by Drew Bennett. He worked on Travis Daniels. A great gain all the way to the 31-yard line. A pickup of 36-yard and a 1st down.
Well, this is just a great throw by Kerry Collins. He gets pressure, and you're going to just watch Bennett. He's just going to run the corner route. And Kerry Collins does a great job. He is a tall quarterback at 6'5". He hangs in there. He makes a great throw. He puts it out in front of Drew Bennett. And a great throw under adverse circumstances. He's got knocked around. Jason Taylor again, right on his shoulder. Great throw by Kerry Collins.
Bennett was a college quarterback turned wide receiver and undrafted at UCLA. He received 1 call on draft day after they were all picked. That was from the Titans. 7th play of the drive, 1st and 10. Henry brought down by Keith Traylor. Devoured by Traylor. Gain of 1, 30-yard line.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the big guys like Keith Traylor hold up front. And they're going to roll lots of players, especially on that defensive line in and out, to try and keep them fresh so that they have a little left in their tank in the 4th quarter.
There is an injury timeout. A player is down. It's Zach Pillar. Timeout. It's been a while since the Titans have scored in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, and you can see they put so much time into that first 15 play sheet. That is unusual.
31-yard line, 2nd down and 9 for Collins. He's hit by Traylor and brought down. Sack back at the 39-yard line. It's a loss of 8 yards on the play as a flag is down. That would be Traylor's 2nd sack of the season should it stand.
Usually in the interior, it's probably holding.
There is no foul. The action is deemed to be legal. 3rd down.
I've never heard that one before. Personal foul that was deemed to be legal.
So now it's 3rd and 19. They need the 21-yard line. They take out a tight end and Scape, and they bring in their wide receiver, Bobby Wade. Big play on this drive, a 36-yard pass to Drew Bennett. It began back at the 20, right now at the 38-yard line of Miami.
And now you got to find a way to finish drives.
6 defensive backs, including Bell and Travis Daniels. Look at the time for Collins. Just throws it in the dirt.
And again, the thought process there, they had it screen dialed up, and the thought process is there. It's just try and get as much as you can and protect that field goal. And now they're forced to punt in that situation.
Zach Pillar is still on the sideline. Eugene Amano took his place for those 2 plays. And that sack effectively knocked him out of field goal range. And so here they got to punt again. This will be the 2nd punt in 3 possessions for the Tennessee Titans, with Wes Welker deep at about the 10-yard line for Miami. Now, this punter has a great knuckleball kick.
Yeah, he tries to put a little bit backspin on it, hoping that ball will check up.
Donnie Nicky, Cortland Finnegan tried to keep it in, and it was down at about the 2-yard line. Great play. Lowry got it. 36-yard punt. We'll get another look at Daunte Culpepper when we come back to Miami. Dolphins on top. Mare from 40 yards away. Collins has thrown a pick. But look, after the great Hendrick punt, where Miami begins this drive on their 3.
And all you're thinking about here, Kevin, is a first down to get yourself some breathing room.
Second tight end is Peel. Barnes, but they blocked for Brown. Nothing there. They had Bullock on one of the hits, and they had Pope coming in. Chris Hope from Pittsburgh, and a gain of a yard to the 4.
You can go back and look at Daunte Culpepper's last 9 games. 7 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. And his 1 loss record, 2-7. It's not been good. And Daunte Culpepper, you can trace it all back to when Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, left Minnesota to come down to Miami. He was in a structured system. He was making good, sound decisions. When Daunte got away from that, things began to fall apart for him.
Robert Smith is on the defensive line for Tennessee. It's 2nd down and 9 for Culpepper from his 4, and that's Peel, the ex-Charger, on the move. Good block by Brown. Out to Darian Barnes. Hit by Hill, whacked by Bullock, and a gain of 4, and they take him out to about the 8-yard line.
Darian Barnes just out of the backfield, your fullback. And again, location's so important. But just listen at the end of this. I mean, these players are flying around making plays. This is a violent game in the National Football League.
Derek Hagan has come in as an extra wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. Nothing to Chambers as of yet. Welker is in the slot, so 4 receivers out there for a 3rd and 5 from the 8 for Daunte Culpepper. Here comes Starks. Culpepper throws it away in the vicinity of Welker, who is covered by Pac-Man Jones on that left cornerback.
Yeah, they're going to switch Pac-Man Jones around. You know, he's normally playing right corner. They got him on the left-hand side. There's a reason for that. I think a lot of teams in the National Football League are right-handed. And the second thing is, over the first 2 weeks, teams were picking on Ronaldo Hill. That's just a fact. And now they decided to move their better corner, Pac-Man Jones, over to the left-hand side.
So the defense here for Tennessee is going to give them their offense in pretty good position.
Yeah, and that's what they need. When you're struggling offensively, a good return in the kicking game can really help you.
Donnie Jones puts off a rocket to Pac-Man at the 32-yard line for number 32. He fumbled the ball and recovered by Tennessee, I think. Did Casey Kramer get in there and get that ball? He jumped on it. The ball's at about the 46-yard line. And it was Kramer, who they're using as a fullback / tight end. A frustrated Jeff Fisher on a 61-yard punt with a 15-yard Pac-Man Jones return.
And Jeff Fisher told us every time Pac-Man Jones goes back there, he thinks he's going to score. But in that situation, he's just carrying the ball a little too loosely in his right hand. When you get piles, Pac-Man Jones has to learn to put that ball away and carry it high and tight.
So the Tennessee Titans, by far their best beginning field position, 2 times at the 20, once at the 19, now at the 46-yard line. And when you have this kind of beginning field position, as opposed to what I just rattled off, what does it do in terms of your play calling?
Well, it helps you. You know, you can throw a little bit on first down. You have a little bit more breathing room. But every drive that they've had today, something's gone wrong. They've had a penalty. They've had a drop ball. They've had an interception. We need to get that straightened out.
1st and 10. Henry. And brought down hard by Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson on the line after a gain of a yard out to the 47-yard line, which will take us to the end of the first quarter. 2 winless teams. The big play so far, the Zach Thomas interception, the Maude field goal. At the end of 1, the Dolphins 3-0. And Eugene Amano is still taking his place at the left guard, 47-yard line, 2nd and 9, first play of the second quarter with Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. A hot and, as you might expect, humid day here in South Florida. Wade is the 3rd receiver. Henry is starting in the backfield for the injured Brown. Henry offers a nice block, and it's a pass again to Bennett. 40 down to the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 15 yards on a play. A Tennessee first down as we gain. James Brown from our studios in New York.
Kevin and Rich, the Steelers have been manhandling Cincinnati, and we're going for a second score. Ben Roethlisberger in the red zone throws a pick to Mediu Williams, intended for Heath Miller. First career red zone pick thrown by Ben in the regular season. Back to Kevin and Rich.
Couple of interceptions last week against Jacksonville, 2 on Monday night. Thank you, JB. It's a 1st and 10 handoff, and here comes Travis Henry, who gets a nice block from Gibbons and is finally tackled by Crowder, and the gain is for a first down to the 27-yard line on a gain of 12. So they get Bennett with the nice reception, a 12-yard gain on the ground here by Travis Henry.
And this is what Travis Henry likes to do. He likes to bounce runs to the outside edge, and then he puts his head and shoulders down at the end. For a smaller back, he's a powerful runner.
1st and 10, 27-yard line. Lendale White is in the backfield, the rookie out of USC for the Tennessee Titans. Good block by Roos. And Scaife with a one-handed grab and a touchdown. What a catch. And the Titans have gone up on Miami on a 27-yard strike. Tillman was beaten.
And when you're struggling offensively, a great throw and great catch can get you going. And that was a great throw by Kerry Collins. You just watch Scaife. He's working down the seam. Zach Thomas is in coverage. And that is a great throw and a great one-handed catch by Bo Scaife.
The first pass to a tight end today. And Scaife is a terrific story as Collins throws the touchdown pass, with the first half points being registered right there this season for the Tennessee Titans. Baronis with the extra point makes it 7-3. Kerry Collins with a terrific throw, but what a catch by his tight end Bo Scaife out of Texas. 13:42 in the second.
They're trying to stretch seams with 2 vertical route runners, and they're really trying to put some pressure on the safety and the linebacker, Zach Thomas. And Bo Scaife is just going to work down the middle of the field. The safety has to decide to work inside or outside. Zach thinks he's got help over the top. That's just a great catch and throw by the Titans.
So after the kickoff and the return to the 16, 1st and 10 for Daunte Culpepper. Barnes and Brown in the backfield, and he moves niftily around the oncoming rush, and he's wide for Barnes, incomplete, who is covered by the linebacker Bullock.
You get another look at this play coming right at you. Just goes to show you such a fine line. This isn't really bad coverage by the Dolphins, but it's a perfect throw and a perfect catch to get the job done. And sometimes that's how you have to make a living in the NFL.
On that play, there was a pass of 17 to Bennett, a good run of 11 yards by Henry. Here is a 2nd down and 10 with the no huddle by Culpepper. Finnegan has come in as a 5th defensive back for Tennessee, and there goes a flag. I should say flags.
False start. Offense number 64. A 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
The right guard, Kendall Jaycox.
Kevin, one of the things I've noticed, if you watch Daunte Culpepper's drops away from the center, they're not real strong. He's slow getting away from the center. He's hobbling a little bit, and that last throw, he's not setting his feet, and he's not throwing with his entire body. He's throwing all with his arm. He's got to get those legs involved in the throws.
2nd down and 15 out to the 26-yard line. Still 5 in the secondary for the Titans. Culpepper. Chris Chambers' first catch today. The Pro Bowler is grabbed by Lamont Thompson and tied down at the 26-yard line on a gain of 15 yards, and he should have a first down. He does to the 26.
And this will help Daunte Culpepper and the Dolphins, getting McMichael more involved in this offense. He's a lethal weapon. He's only had 4 catches the first 2 weeks. He's too good of a player. You got to find a way to get your tight end involved in the game plan.
Chambers had a great game last week with 9 receptions. He had a touchdown catch on the day. So it is 1st and 10. Brown, a block by Barnes, and then he is smothered at about the 27-yard line. Thornton got him, as did Kyle Vanden Bosch. There is no gain on the play. When you take a look at Culpepper, you kind of mentioned this before about Linehan, but being in a structured system, you think seems to really lend itself to him.
And it makes so much sense. And, you know, he's gotten away from that when he was with the Vikings late last year. and really the decision-making. That's really where it showed up. He went south in that department. He needed to straighten that out, and this is what Mike Milwaukee's trying to accomplish with Daunte Culpepper.
2nd and 10 pass, looking for Chambers, and covered by Pac-Man Jones. That's one of the reasons, and a flag is down at the 25. One of the reasons why Jones is on the left side today.
Offside. Defense number 96 in the neutral zone to snap, a 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Well, Ronaldo Hill had a rough week last week against the Chargers, was getting picked over on that right side, and Jeff Fisher really felt like moving Pac-Man Jones over, especially versus the Dolphins, who are predominantly a right-handed team, would help the Tennessee Titans secondary.
They got the regular defense in there, about 4 in the secondary, 3 linebackers, 4 on the defensive line for Tennessee. 2nd down and 5 at the 32. Ronnie Brown hit by Thornton, brought down by Hope. He's out to the 42-yard line, a sprint of 11 yards and a 1st down.
All it takes is a crease for Ronnie Brown to get going. They just run this stretch play, and it's something that Ronnie Brown likes. You know, he rushed for over 900 yards in his rookie campaign, and now you're looking in your 2nd season, you're looking for improvement across the board. Not just in the running game, but in terms of his pass protection, the blitz pickup, his route running. Ronnie Brown is going to be a good player for a long time.
Peel is the 2nd tight end. Suggs in the backfield. Lee Suggs, the ex-Cleveland Brown, on 1st and 10. And he is brought down about the 47-yard line. Bullock is the one who tripped him up. It's a gain of 5 on the play. Bullock has led the defense of the Tennessee Titans in tackles 4 consecutive years.
And now you're going to see a little bit of no huddle, and the Tennessee Titans were expecting some no huddle out of the Dolphins. And again, in this heat and humidity, you want to try and pick up the tempo, the pace of the game, really force that defense to play more plays.
Finnegan, the 5th defensive back, 2nd down and 5. Here's Suggs again. Walloped on the play by Bullock. Hit there by Hope. It's a gain of 2 yards. Suggs, who last 3 seasons played for the Browns. Best season came in 04 when he had over 700 yards in 10 games played for Cleveland. 3rd and 3.
Yeah, we're seeing more no huddle now. The no huddle here won't allow the Titans to make as many substitutions, especially in their nickel and dime packages on 3rd down.
Brown is back in. Welker is the 3rd wide receiver. 5 in the secondary. 3rd and 3 for Culpepper. Incomplete, looking for Chambers, covered by Bullock. So it's 4th down. Have you noticed in watching tape of the first 2 games and what you've seen today, are they altering or tweaking the offense for Culpepper at all?
And he just doesn't look completely comfortable, Kevin. I'm watching him sit back there and throw, and he's thrown a lot with his arm. He's not stepping in and finishing his throws, and they are going to try and simplify things. They want to get some more quick rhythm throws to kind of get him from holding the football. He's held the football a little bit longer in the first 2 weeks, getting sacked 10 times.
Donnie Jones will punt to Pac-Man Jones. Donnie Jones, the #1 net punter in the NFL a season ago. And Pac-Man, one of the top 5 punt returners last year in the NFL. And this will go right in front of Jeremiah Bell and ricochet into the end zone. 51-yard punt. So Tennessee, fresh off a touchdown pass, getting it back at their 20. Kerry Collins has thrown a touchdown pass to his 2nd-year tight end, Bo Scaife. Aaron Kinney still inactive with an injury, knee. So Scaife seeing extra time. 1st and 10 after the touchback on the punt from the 20-yard line. And here comes Henry, brought down by Channing Crowder. Good-looking run of 8 yards to the 28-yard line.
Well, it wasn't an easy start for Kerry Collins today. Jason Taylor getting pressure on him early in the interception, but he came right back, finds Drew Bennett, and then makes a great throw to Bo Scaife. And he can be a streaky player, Kevin, and that's the thing the Dolphins don't want to see happen. You don't want to see him get rolling and get comfortable, because he can light you up.
Roydell Williams is the 2nd receiver with Gibbons. Bennett is on the side. 2nd down and 2, 28-yard line. Henry. And again, Thomas and Crowder banging down the 29-yard line, a meager gain of a yard. Let's go to JB in our studios in New York.
Kevin and Rich, the high-scoring Colts offense did not score in the 1st quarter, but look at how they did it in the 2nd quarter. A punt return highlight of 82 yards by Terrence Wilkins knocks it up at 7-all. First punt return for a score since 2001 by that guy, Terrence Wilkins, all tied at 7. And now we'll take it back to you guys, Kevin and Rich.
Yeah, Wilkins played in Canada last year after bouncing around from the Rams. He began his career with the Indianapolis Colts about 5 years ago. A little bit wayward and finds his way home and makes a big imprint on the Colts. Collins trying to do the same thing with the Tennessee Titans. He's thrown a touchdown pass today. 9:03 in the half. It's 3rd down and 1 after the timeout. Collins outside. He's got his tight end fullback Kramer, who is grabbed by Crowder. He's got the first down. He's out to the 35 and picks up 6 yards on the play. Tomorrow on CBS, CSI Miami is in for a fight against the city's deadliest gang. Don't miss a new episode tomorrow at 10/9 Central on CBS, America's most watched network. So Kramer is here because Kenny is injured, and the drive continues. It began with a very tough start at the 20-yard line, now at the 35. By the way, Eugene Amano still taking the place of Pillar, who is injured at left guard. 1st and 10. Here comes Taylor. There goes Collins. Out of the reach and incomplete at the 50-yard line, and looking for his wide receiver, 2nd-year man out of Tulane, Roydell Williams.
And they're the throws that you have to hit. When you have them open like that and you have good protection, and you're able to set your feet, you got to find a way to hook up with Roydell Williams. And that's one that Kerry Collins would love to have back.
Collins playing in the offensive system of Norm Chow, who came after so many years, 32 years in college. Was recently with the national championship program at USC. 2nd year right now. 2nd down and 10, 35. Wade is the 3rd receiver. Jones is also out there as a receiver. And this is Travis Henry, who goes against Travis Daniels and stiff arms his way to about the 44 on a gain of 9. Travis Henry looking effective on the ground this afternoon.
Kevin, you just showed, we talked about Norm Chow a second ago. If you're sitting at home watching and you think your job's tough, how did it be Norm Chow? They took away Steve McNair and sent him to Baltimore. And then your backup, Billy Volek, they ship him to San Diego. 11 days before the start of the season, they bring in Kerry Collins. And if you're Norm Chow, you got to be scrambling. You got to be trying to figure out what's the best plays, what works for Kerry Collins. That's not an easy situation to be in if you're Norm Chow.
Base defense in there for Miami. 3rd down and 1, 44-yard line. Lendale White offering the block. Troop outside. He's got the first down and some room to roam. Makes a move on Crowder, and then is tripped up at about the 24-yard line by Ronaldo Hill and Zach Thomas on 3rd and 1, a 32-yard gain, another first down. The tight ends are shredding the Miami defense today.
And you just look at the crossing routes, and what happens is man-to-man coverage, it gets confusing. And now they're not sure who has been Troop, and there's no one there to cover him. Kerry Collins just does the next best thing. He just finds Troop on the little shallow cross for a big play.
Lendale White remains 55 receptions for Troop a season ago. 1st and 10. Collins with some confidence throws. Scape again. He's caught 1 touchdown. He's whacked right there. There's a fumble on the play and picked up by Andre Goodman. Goodman breaking tackles, and he takes it with more blocking ahead out to the 33-yard line. And the 2nd Tennessee Titan turnover this afternoon, a 31-yard return. Much to the dismay of Jeff Fisher, the Tennessee coach.
Well, the good news is the Titans are getting the tight ends back involved in this offense. The bad news is Bo Scaife just doesn't put that ball away and secure it, and that's a great hit to knock it out, and then a great run after the catch. But again, Tennessee Titans, they take a step or two forward, and then something bad happens to stop a drive.
Will Allen knocked the ball away. Scaife, who caught a touchdown pass earlier of 27 yards, is zeroing in on his second. The 2nd Tennessee turnover. Miami has it 1st and 10 from the 35. Peel is the 2nd tight end. Culpepper. Chased by Starks. Whacked out of bounds by Thornton. A flag, a late hit. He was on the chalk at about the 35.
Well, if you're a quarterback in the National Football League, one thing you cannot do.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 50 defense. 15-yard penalty and a first down.
One thing you cannot do is ease up on the boundary. And you watch him, he just eases up here a little bit, And that's when bad things happen. If you're going to make up a decision to run the ball, you got to run and get as much as you can and get out of bounds and protect yourself and not take these kind of hits.
4 defensive backs for the Tennessee Titans. They got Hainsworth and LeBoy, Vanden Bosch and Starks on their defensive line. 1st and 10, midfield, Miami. Ronnie Brown out of Auburn. Dancing his way, Bullock the grab among many at the 45-yard line. Also in there was Chris Hope on a gain of 6.
One thing Ronnie Brown can do is he can make you miss in the hole. And he's got such great balance and he's such great vision as a runner. And he just left Pac-Man Jones standing there right in his shoes. He's a great player, Ronnie Brown.
2nd down, long 4, 44-yard line. Brown again. Blown up. Good hit on the play by Peter Sermon. Loss on the play of about a yard. Back to the 46-yard line.
They're actually trying to run the flea flicker there in that situation. Ronnie Brown does a nice job realizing that there's some push up field. And he actually, you watch him, you see him smiling there. They had the flea flicker called. Chris Chambers was actually running the corner route. Ronnie Brown actually did the right thing and made the right decision in that situation by not trying to throw the ball back to Daunte Culpepper.
Darian Barnes comes out the fullback. Welker's the 3rd wide receiver. Portland Finnegan comes in as the 5th defensive back. Mahalona comes in on the defensive line. 3rd down and 5. Culpepper outside. Wide open is Booker. He makes Thompson miss. And there he goes with a great block from Chambers. It's a gain of 25 yards. Mark the ball at the 20-yard line. Another Miami 1st down.
Not necessarily a great throw. Daunte just gets it out of his hands, but Booker makes a nice catch and a nice move after the catch. And you can't miss tackles in the open field. Wow. Thompson's got no chance. A great move by Booker, just working up the sideline.
Booker a Pro Bowler in 0-2 for Chicago. 1st and 10. Ronnie Brown. Wrapped up and brought down by Robert Smith, who was let go by Houston. Seth Payne beamed about there, and the former Tennessee Titan brought back and now plays on the line. It's a gain of about a yard on the play, and again, no huddle. They're just at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, and they have not been very good in the red zone, the Dolphins nor the Titans. And Daunte Culpepper directing traffic, trying to get his guys lined up to do the best possible play based on the front and the coverage that he sees.
Only 4 defensive backs, 3 Miami receivers. 2nd down and 9 from the 19. If Culpepper sees this.
He's got to see pressure because it's coming right up the slot.
Quick throw, Welker, banged by Hill. Wes Welker at 5'9", pinballs his way to the 9-10-yard gain. So on this drive, 25 yards to Booker, 10 yards right there to Welker. It's 1st and 10.
And these are the decisions that you want to see Daunte make. Quick decisions, decisive, getting the ball out of his hands, recognizing pressure, and knowing where to go with the throw.
Again, they had the extra wide receiver, but only 4 defensive backs for Tennessee. Now the extra defensive backs will come in. And now they lead because Welker's come off, so the chess match continues. Extra linebacker has been brought in, Colby Buckholt. 1st and goal at the 9. Peel is the extra tight end. Ronnie Brown shimmies his way into Bullock, and the cloud of dust reveals a gain to about the 9, and then I guess no gain on the play, maybe a half yard at most. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, and you talked about personnel substitutions. A lot of coordinators will bring in some heavy personnel groupings, 2 tight ends. Try and get Tennessee to sub and get a heavy run set and then throw the ball on 1st down. Now, the Dolphins didn't do it there, but again, it is a chess match between the coordinators.
Well, they just took out, they had 4 linebackers in there. Now Buckholt goes out, and they bring their cornerback Ronaldo Hill back in, but they were playing with 4 linebackers on that last play. 2nd and goal at the 9. Fake to Brown. Here comes Hainsworth. Oh, and he's got Culpepper, and that's that escapability issue you were talking about. It's back to the 18. It's the 2nd sack, and it's a loss of 9.
And Albert Hainsworth is not known as a speed demon off the edge. But again, you watch Daunte Culpepper, he just doesn't have the escapability that he once did. He's not as quick at deciding when to run. And again, once he gets out on the edge, he doesn't have that explosiveness that he once had in his legs.
Well, you said his legs are everything about his game.
It is. It's so much a part of what he does. And we talked about in the open how he absolutely drove defensive coordinators crazy over there when he got out on the edge, because he was such a threat not only to throw it but to run it. And now he's more one-dimensional. He's more of a pocket guy until he can get that confidence back in that knee.
The play clock and the game clock are synced up, so as the play clock expires, it will go right down to the 2-minute warning. It'll be a 3rd and goal at the 17. As we wind down what has been a pretty exciting first half between two winless teams. Jeff Fisher's quarterback has thrown a touchdown pass, thus the Titans on top 7-3. 2-minute warning with Miami threatening coming up on the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer with scores and highlights. That's the Sprint halftime coming up next from New York. It's 3rd down, goal to go, 17-yard line, 5 defensive backs for Tennessee. The 2 receivers plus Barnes is playing a slot receiver and Brown is in the backfield. Now Barnes in that staggered split. And they go to the fullback Barnes. Pac-Man Jones tripped him up. The gain to the 13-yard line. Pick up a 5, 4th down. The Tennessee Titans hold him out and hold him to a 3-point try.
And that's a positive play for Daunte Culpepper. They took a shot, looked downfield. It wasn't there. He does the next best thing. He checks it down and protects the field goal. Smart play by Daunte Culpepper.
Now this field goal, and remember, it was 1st and goal at the 9, so they really squandered great position and a terrific opportunity. Miami with 3 timeouts remaining, but this kick is going to come off the baseball infield dirt of the Marlins.
And it's a little tricky. A couple things. The snap comes off the dirt, and then the hold. And the holder gets the ball in his hand. He usually gets a little bit of dirt on that ball, and then the spot. You know, and it's tough. When you talk to kickers, they much rather kick on the grass than on the infield.
And a timeout taken. That's the first burn by the Miami Dolphins, and they now have 2 remaining. And again, reminding you, the Sprint halftime report being compiled for you back in New York. James Brown, Dan Marino, Shannon Sharp, and Boomer Esiason giving you scores and highlights on a busy 3rd weekend in the NFL. All coming up on the Sprint halftime report from New York. With Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, we've had an interesting first half with 2 teams searching for their first win, still very early in the season. And I've always kind of thought that it takes about the first month of the year to really know what kind of team you've got.
Yeah, they're still both teams on both sides of the ball are still figuring out what they have. And when you talk to the coordinators, you really got the sense of that yesterday.
Searching for an identity is, I think, the term both teams used. So here is a 30-yard field goal tried by Olindo Mare, who has already kicked one from 40 today. And he missed last week from 55. He misses a little chip shot here from 30 yards away. And so the Tennessee Titans come up with a huge defensive stand, and Jeff Fisher and the Tennessee Titans lead it with 65 seconds to play in the first half, 7-3.
Yeah, I don't know that Olindo Mare was all that happy with the hold in the spot there. You watch him after this kick. We'll try and get a look at it. He's spinning it late as he's kicking it. You watch Mare after the kick. He looks right down to Donnie Jones. And again, when you get in scoring position, you know, that's like a major letdown not to be able to kick a field goal right before the half.
Couple tight ends. Tennessee has 2 timeouts with which to work. Here comes Collins, who's thrown a touchdown pass today. Travis Henry. Chased by Thomas, pushed out of bounds by the 5th defensive back, Travis Daniels. The gain is to about the 27-yard line. He picks up 8 yards on the play. Clock at 59 seconds, and again, Tennessee with 2 timeouts.
That's still plenty of time, you know, to work the ball down the field and try and get yourself in the field goal range. You got 59 seconds with both timeouts. Kerry Collins just has to be smart in this situation. He cannot afford a sack.
5 remain in the secondary. 2nd down and 2. Wade is the 3rd receiver. Roos with the block on the oncoming Jason Taylor, and a catch is made by Troop, who's grabbed by Crowder, 36-yard line. It's a gain of 9, and it's a first down for Tennessee. Again, 2 timeouts remaining. You see the time ticking off here in the second.
And I would have used one there. And in that situation, you burn so much time getting everybody back up to the line of scrimmage.
It's 1st and 10, and that is dropped. That'll stop the clock right there. Troop, who had a big-time reception earlier in this half of 32 yards, drops it right there. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And there's other ways to stop the clock during a 2-minute drill, and that's why I said I would have used the timeout there. And you still have 1 left on the clock to save for the field goal, but you can always stop the clock by killing the ball or an incomplete pass. Incomplete passes during a 2-minute drive don't hurt you.
6 defensive back, Jones and Williams, and Wade the receivers. It's 2nd down and 10 for Collins. Inside it goes. Wade the catch right in front of Daniels, out of bounds. Niftily stepping to the 44, picking up 7 yards. Collins a very good job on this drive.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job, and he's looking more and more comfortable with each throw. And you'd expect that from him. He's a veteran guy. He's been in a lot of games over the years, and that's really what the Titans are counting on from Kerry Collins. To come in here and play with some great confidence, some great poise, and exert some leadership to this young football team.
Again, Miami playing with 6 defensive backs. We mentioned Daniels. Also, Jeremiah Bell is in there. 3rd down and 3, 43-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining for the Titans.
A free play for the
Great
Titans.
time. Look at the time for Collins and Ed Williams, who is guarded by Tillman. Incomplete, 25-yard line. That stops it at 25 seconds.
A good job by Kerry Collins there, using the hard count, getting the Dolphins to jump off sides. You got a free play in that situation, and just a little better throw there might have gotten it done.
We saw Rob Baronis, and we were charting, and the flag is thrown.
Defense number 91. A 5-yard penalty that results in a 1st down.
That's Vonnie Holliday. On the dirt going to our left, he was missing from 49, but on the grass with the wind at his back before the game we were charting, Baronis was nailing 52 and 53-yard field goals.
And it could be a psychological factor as well. None of these kickers like kicking off of that infield.
In fact, the wind has picked up more going in the direction of the offense of Tennessee than it was at kickoff time. And Collins again hits Bennett on that 1st and 10 pass, picking up 7 yards. Niftily gets out of bounds once again. They'll spot him at the 45-yard line.
And you're Travis Daniels. You have to know that the Titans are trying to work the boundary. They're trying to throw some out cuts, some comeback routes to use the boundary and stop the clock. And you just can't let them work up your back and run out cuts and not drive on the ball and try and make a play.
Eugene Amano is still playing the left guard for the injured Zach Pillar. It is 2nd down and 4. Goes off to Travis Henry, who is wrapped up by the leading tackler of the Dolphins, Zach Thomas, a 6-time Pro Bowler. It's a gain of 2. He's down to the 43. Timeout taken by Tennessee. They've got 1 remaining and 13 seconds on the 2nd quarter clock.
Yeah, and a lot of the timeout, obviously the decision-making process is controlled by the sidelines. And they're talking to Kerry Collins in his headset, trying to help him manage the game and manage the situations. But again, I really think they would have been better served using up that time out earlier and give themselves a little bit more time inside the last 2 minutes.
You can just see the confidence, and I'm sure as a quarterback you know this better than anybody. You can see the confidence. You get a couple of passes and the momentum certainly builds.
Yeah, and it builds in the huddle. The players around you start believing in you. The offensive line gets excited. You know, a veteran guy like Kevin Mawai in there, your center, and he's talking to the guys in the huddle while you're over on the sidelines. And that's where good things start to happen for an offense. And Kerry Collins right now looks pretty comfortable.
So the Tennessee Titans began this drive on the 20 with 1:05 remaining in the half. Upcoming is the 7th play. It is 3rd down and 2 at the 43. Lendale White is in the backfield. Same cast of receivers, Gibbons along with Bennett. And this is Wade, who is the 3rd receiver. Zach Thomas brings him down, 33-yard line, gain of 10. And the clock is at 6 seconds. And a timeout taken as Tennessee burns their final timeout, and they're going to bring out Rob Baronis, who has not attempted and certainly not made a field goal this season. Next Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS rocks with Mike Shula's Alabama Crimson Tide against Chris Leak and the Florida Gators. It all begins with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman on the TIAA Cref College Football today, right here on the home of Super Bowl 41. CBS Sports. Tough loss last night for Alabama and a solid win for the Florida Gators last night. Here is a 51-yard try now. We've told you before in pregame charting that Rich and I did at this side of the field on grass with the wind. He was nailing them from 53.
Yeah, I feel like I have a special teams coach in the booth with me. I'm up in here charting punters and kickers. I've never done that before, but I'll tell you what, you get a really good feel for where their comfort level is in terms of their distance.
A snap from Ken Amato. Here's a timeout by Miami, and you never want to leave anything on the board, and that's exactly what Nick Saban will do. He'll burn his 2nd timeout. He'll have 1 remaining. So a pretty good drive by Collins after the defense watches Mare miss his field goal at the other end. They take over and they march right downfield.
Yeah, and this is something that the Titans can build on. You know, we talked earlier about them not scoring any points in the first 3 quarters of the first 2 games. And so to be able to go into halftime on the road against a pretty good Dolphins team with a lead, that's only going to help you in the second half.
6 consecutive road losses for the Tennessee Titans, who a year ago were 4-12. Both teams come in 0-2, and you see Barones from 50+ what he has done in his very short career. Dolphins have not blocked a kick of any kind in over 4 seasons. The hold from Hentrich, a 51-yard try, way off. Like Vanderjagt in that playoff game for the Colts against the Steelers last year, way off, not even close. So a second remains as the ever alert Nick Saban instructs his team to get back out there, and Barones, who is out of Georgia Southern, he's been in camps with Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, played in the Arena Football League, and he began his college career at Auburn, then transferred to Georgia Southern, where they were 1AA national champions, and made the route around NFL camps and ends up with Jeff Fisher in Tennessee.
Well, you look at the Tennessee defense, Kevin, and they are anticipating a throw down the field. I am anticipating a handoff, and that's not going to happen. That may be a quarterback, maybe a draw in this situation.
We'll see. Culpepper, 41-yard line, 1st and 10.
They are going to throw it.
They'll wind up. And the Central Florida prospect throws it downfield out of bounds. Incomplete. That takes us to the end of the first half.
Well, if you can throw it 70 yards, Kevin, maybe you try a play like that. I could never do that.
We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station as you're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41.
Sprint, together with Nextel. Power up.
All right, and welcome to the Sprint halftime report. Those of you watching Tennessee at Miami, the Jets and Buffalo. Let's get you caught up with my guys, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. We get started first with Boomer. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh is the game. Boom.
Hey, guys, the Steelers came out of the locker room rocking, and they were complete in control of this game. Willie Parker goes right in, and then Ben Roethlisberger threw an interception in the end zone, and then from that point on, the Bengals took over right here. Chris Henry, the first of 2 touchdowns on the day, this time a 16-yard TD over Ike Taylor. Jeff Reed gets his ball blocked by John Thornton, the defensive lineman of the Cincinnati Bengals. And then right before halftime, Carson Palmer sees the blitz. He gets rid of the ball. Chris Henry, nice catch. And the Bengals took over Old Mo there right before halftime, 14-7.
Got untracked after totaling only 18 yards in the first quarter. Shannon, Jaguars strong on the ground.
They're really dominating this ball game here. Byron Leftwich escapes a sack, goes in for a 4-yard TD run. Now Terrence Wilkins. Tony Dungy told him get good or get gone. He said, I'm going to get gone, coach. And here he goes, 82 yards down the right sideline. They're not going to catch him. 7-7, but Jacksonville has totally dominated this ball game. 24.5-minute time of possession, 160 yards rushing on the ground.
Colts have won 10 straight against the AFC South. We'll see what happens here. Tennessee has scored its first half points of the season. Dan.
And this is a big play by Miami's defense, and that's what they need more of. And Zach Thomas comes up with the tip there for an interception, but then on the next series, Kerry Collins drops back, one-on-one coverage, Zach Thomas down the middle, Boska Faye, great catch, touchdown right there. Miami is really struggling still again offensively, not being able to run the football at all.
Anemic is certainly the word there. Jets against Buffalo. Willis McGahee with a big game on the ground in the first half. Boom.
Already over 100 yards rushing, and how about this? Roscoe Parrish, 51 yards right down the middle of the Jet defense. You think, this could be a blowout. Eric Mangini's team's got no give up in it, fellas, and Chad Pennington's leading this team back. Here comes Kevin Barlow. He goes in for a 3-yard TD run. And then how about Chris Baker right at the end of the second quarter? Chris Baker, nice design play by Brian Schottenheimer, their offensive coordinator, and the Jets are up 14-10. This is not the same old Jet team, I can tell you that.
Eric Mangini, the new head coach, doing a nice job there. Shannon, sole possession of first place in the NFC North on the line.
Not a whole lot of offense early on. Brad Johnson finds a wide open Travis Taylor down the sideline. 36-yard would lead to a field goal. This game probably will come down to whoever has the best field goal kicker. This is where we are, 6-3 at the half.
Dan Marino and Brett Favre, the only quarterbacks in NFL history with 400 touchdowns or more. Dan.
Hey, and here's Marquand Manuel comes up with an interception. He goes in for a touchdown. That puts Green Bay up 14-7. You want your quarterback to respond after he throws a touchdown for an interception. He comes back with a touchdown. Roy Williams, great catch over the shoulder, 42 yards. That ties the game. Brett Favre, slow down a little bit.
Slow down. He's what, like 27 behind you now?
Something like that.
All right.
Who's
you
counting?
guys are still in elite territory. Panthers at the Bucks. Boom.
Think back 2 years ago when Tampa Bay suspended Keyshawn Johnson. You remember that, guys? And he went hey, who's back? Keyshawn Johnson. You think John Gruden's not happy about that one? How about this one? An end around by Keyshawn Johnson. His second TD of the day. All right, get ready. Here it comes. It's a touchdown by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nice play action pace by Chris Sims. Over the top to Joey Galloway. 20-7 at this point. Carolina Panthers controlling the football game.
Buccaneers with only 10 points to show for the season so far. Hey, was it Shannon who called for the benching of Redskins quarterback Mark Brunell?
I think it was.
Early on, David Carr play fake, Mark Bruno wide open 7-0, and I'm looking good about my benching about Mark Brunell. But here, Liddell Best starts right, goes back left. 9 yards later, he's in the end zone. Part of that 299-yard first half from the Redskins. Mark Brunell up over the top. Antoine Randall out to the side. Whoop, dips inside. Good block. Touchdown, 14-7. Right before the half, and here's CP. Clinton Porter's right up the middle. And once he gets here, they can't catch him. 21-7 Redskins, as I mentioned, 299 yards at the half, JB.
You think Mark Brunell was glad to see Clinton Portis back in the lineup?
He was the second most happiest guy.
Who was first?
Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs, indeed. Second half of your game coming up. Thanks for watching this Sprint Halftime Report.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint together with Nextel. Power up.
We began talking about the quarterback. Let's continue to talk about the quarterback.
Well, he's looked sharp in the first half, throwing for almost 200 yards, connecting with 7 different receivers. On the flip side, however, Daunte Culpepper does not look as comfortable. And he's been flushed in the pocket, sacked twice already in the first half. They have to find a way to settle Daunte down.
Let's take a look at some of our highlights in the first half. Some big-time plays, and this was a great strike. The second-year tight end Scape hauling in a Collins pass. They almost did it again. Then he had the ball knocked away, and it was returned the other way. A missed field goal by Orlando Mate. And Nick Saban, frustrated, doesn't get anything out of a possession when he had it 1st and goal at the 9, and through 30 minutes of football. Rich Gannon, here are some of the numbers.
Well, pretty good first half offensively for the Titans. On the flip side, Miami only 103 yards of total offense. They haven't gotten the running game going again. Just 69 yards passing. They do not look comfortable offensively, the Dolphins.
The Tennessee Titans will kick off to begin the second half. Baronis missed a 51-yard field goal just before halftime, and we showed you the miss by Mate from 30 yards away. Miami set to get it for officially their 7th time, but in essence really their 6th time of the game. Wes Welker is deep back, and the ball blows off the tee. Where it used to be, you'd come down to South Florida if you were an opposing team, whether it were Tennessee or Green Bay or whoever, and you'd struggle down here in September.
Yeah, the heat has always been an issue, and this team has been 13-3 since 1998 at home in the month of September. So the heat and humidity are definitely a factor down here in Miami.
And we talked about the wind, and certainly it has picked up a little bit. As you can see now, they're going to have it held at the 30-yard line to get the second half underway. Andre Woolfolk will hold it. And the wind is going with the direction of the kickoff. And the Dolphins in the 3rd quarter will go into the wind, but Miami in the 4th quarter will be with the wind. Titans 0-2, Miami 0-2. Both teams seem very resilient over the last couple days in talking with players and coaches, and our second half is underway with a touchback from Baronis as he kicks it out of the end zone. So to the 20-yard line, Daunte Culpepper will begin it 1st down and 10.
Well, again, you want to find a way to get this offense going. The way you do it is get your quarterback, Daunte Culpepper, you get him comfortable. And that hasn't happened in the first half. And again, get him in a rhythm where he can have some success, some easy completions, speed some things up, some shorter routes, some quicker throws where the decision-making is taken out of his hands.
Severely damaged, of course, that right knee with 3 torn ligaments last October when with the Vikings against the Carolina Panthers. On the 21st and 10, a miraculous recovery. Doctor said it would be at least a year. He came back in 10 months and does not wear a brace. Welker on 1st and 10 gets the pass. McMichael with the block, and the tackle is made by Thornton, close to a first down on a gain of about 9.5.
Well, the legs, we talk about the legs, and there's so much a part of what Daunte does. But again, he's just not the same guy since the surgery, and it's going to take a while. And he just doesn't look as comfortable out on the edge, scrambling around, making plays with his legs, which he's been known to do throughout the first 6-7 years of his career.
Again, the no huddle for Culpepper and the Dolphins just outside the 29. 2nd down. They get the first down. Ronnie Brown bulldozing his way into Thornton. He picks up 6. He's to the 35.
A couple reasons for the no huddle. Obviously, a tempo changer, trying to get something going offensively. On the flip side, you want to keep that front four of the Titans on the field. You don't want to let them substitute and bring in fresh players, and that does take its toll over the course of the game.
The starters are all out there for the Tennessee defense. It is 1st and 10, 35-yard line, and the end around to Chambers, his 2nd carry of the season. Looking for a block, and he got it from Booker. Look at Booker's block, and look at Chambers go! And he fumbled the ball, but they say he was down. He sprints to the 25-yard line, brought down by Jones. A 40-yard reverse by Chris Chambers, the Pro Bowler.
They stem to their bare front where they have the front 5 covered, and they never account for Chris Chambers coming around on the reverse. And they have everybody up inside expecting an inside run on 1st down, and the Dolphins fool them with the reverse.
Mike Mularkey is the offensive coordinator, and gadget plays like that are his trademark.
He says we have 5 or 6 in every week, and he says he probably has not called enough of them so far this season.
Chambers is out. Welker is in. 1st and 10. Ronnie Brown gobbled up at the line of scrimmage. Mahalona, the rookie, brings him down. Gain of 1, 25-yard line.
Kevin, they actually work on those gadget plays each week, and he talks about having 5 or 6 up each week. They might not run them, but that's all part of the process of repping them in practice each week, so that week 3, week 4, you just never know when you're going to pull one out of your back pocket.
And a player is down for the Tennessee Titans. It is Keith Bullock, the heart and soul of the defense. 12:59, 3rd quarter. The ankle, the left ankle of Keith Bullock, and Colby Buckholt, a former starter with New Orleans, is in. 2nd down, 9. 25-yard line, a reverse to Chambers. Gave him this great position. He rambled for 39 yards. Culpepper. And looking for McMichael, the first time they've thrown to him today, and the coverage by Lamont Thompson, it's incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Let's see if we can find the injury to Bullock on a replay.
Well, you watch him just running an ISO Ronnie Brown right at you, right at the middle of the screen. You watch Bullock step up 53. Hard to see anything there, but again, the ankle. And you know, it's physical in the hole. You're taking on the big fullbacks and offensive guards. Here he is. Quick little tape job, and he's back in.
Cortland Finnegan has come in, taking a linebacker's place as the 5th defensive back. It's 3rd down and 9. Welker is a receiver. And a quick throw to Wes Welker. Grabbed by Lamont Thompson to the 15-yard line. A gain of 10 on 3rd and 9. A Miami 1st down.
Well, the impressive thing is the Dolphins talked all week about handling the pressures on 3rd down, and Daunte Culpepper has done a great job of that. The ball comes in and out of his hands quickly. He senses the blitz, and he knows just where to go with the ball. And Mularkey's calling some quick 3-step throws, some quick rhythm throws, so that the blitz can't get home by the Titans.
The Titans have 4 linebackers and 3 defensive backs. 7th play of the drive, 1st and 10. Travis LeBoy, along with Peter Sermon, bring him down. No gain on the play. That's an interesting defensive formation. 3 defensive backs, 4 linebackers.
Anytime Miami brings in McMichael, their tight end, and then Justin Peele, another tight end. They're heavy set. They're Tiger personnel. Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator of the Titans, is bringing on 4 linebackers into the game.
Now they just took him out, so now they take the linebacker out. They bring in the 4th defensive back, Hill.
Because the Dolphins pulled out Justin Peele. Now they've gone to 4 wide receiver set.
2nd down and 10. On the 13-yard line. Brown. There's a block by the center halfback. The gain is to the 7-yard line. Thornton makes the grab. 7-yard burst. for Ronnie Brown.
Actually, Kevin, they kept McMichael in the game with Peel, and they split them out wide, and they brought both receivers on the inside. And now they're just trying to play head games with them, moving the personnel around to try and get some matchups they want, spread them out a little bit. And that's a good job by Mike Mularkey, using his personnel to kind of get the most advantageous looks he wants from that defense.
3rd and 3, 7-yard line. 5 in the secondary remaining for Tennessee. McMichael is the 4th wide receiver. The pass caught by the receiver, who is Chambers, and backpedals in for a Miami touchdown. And Culpepper gets him in. A 7-yard touchdown strike. And Chambers pushes back Hope and another couple defensive backs as he backpedals in.
Well, there's how you always want to start the second half, with a positive, a scoring drive. And the Dolphins came out and they looked sharp. They pull a reverse, they run the ball well, they mixed it up with the run and the pass, and then Daunte finishes it off with a great throw to Chris Chambers.
Chambers gets his 2nd touchdown reception of the season. Culpepper throws his 2nd of the year. And now the officials are meeting at the goal line as we have the extra point in waiting. Both quarterbacks, and those are the headlines coming in. Shaky the first 2 weeks, but both have looked pretty decent today.
Yeah, and you give Daunte some protection, and that's the key right now. When he's able to set his feet, he seems so much more comfortable.
Ruling on the field is that the runner was down short of the goal line. 1st down.
Well, let's see this again.
Well, it's coming right at you. He starts working his way back in, and whether or not his knee actually comes down before that ball crosses the line, from that angle, it's tough to tell. You get another shot at it right here, and just trying to backpedal his way into the end zone. And it looks to me like he might have come up just a little bit short, Kevin.
I was going to say the opposite. I think I think the knee and the ball went over at the same time. So they made a 1st down nonetheless, and that was the key, at least now. But that might be worth a
number 99.
Worth a look.
Well, they got Jason Taylor in the game right now.
We saw Friday they were practicing with him at tight end.
Yeah, and he'll line up the tight end position, and eventually at some point in the season you'll probably see Jason Taylor run a pass from that formation.
1st and goal at the 1. They wipe away the touchdown. Run is around, trying to carve his way in, and we have no signal yet. It appears short. At least that's the ruling on the field. He did not get through. And plugged up in the middle by big Albert Hainsworth, among others.
Right. I think if you, in this situation, you run the ball again. You have to establish an identity and a presence up front. And that offensive line, you're talking literally inches. They have to find a way to open up a crease for Ronnie Brown.
Taylor remains. 2nd down goal at the 1. That's a flag. Culpepper.
False start. Offense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Jason Taylor.
That's devastating. And you put a player in a position that he's normally not accustomed to playing. You bring Jason Taylor into the tight end position, and he's got a false start on the 6-inch line. And that just kills an offense. Now you're put in a situation, you're backed up, and now it's tough sailing for the Dolphins.
So now 5 defensive backs have been brought in. Booker is in. Chambers is in. McMichael have come back in. Welker is in. 2nd and goal at the 5. Culpepper on the fly. That is a touchdown. A 5-yard burst by Daunte Culpepper.
And that's good to see. You know, subconsciously sometimes when you have an injury like that, you're hesitant to run, and there was no hesitancy on the part of Daunte Culpepper. He saw the opportunity. He's looking downfield for a chance to throw one, and when it's not there, he's decisive. He pulls the ball down and he lunges forward for the touchdown.
And you said to him on Friday, it looks like you run better straight ahead than you do going to either side.
I think his straight ahead speed is okay right now. Where he's really struggling is his change of direction and his side-to-side movement.
Linda Monty tacks on another. There were some big plays on that drive, namely a 39-yard reverse by Chambers, a 9-yard pass to Welker, capped with a 5-yard touchdown run by Culpepper. On their first second-half possession, a touchdown drive of 11 plays and 80 yards. Culpepper rams it in from 5 yards away, and the Miami Dolphins have retaken the lead in the second lead change of the ball game, and now that blows off the tee. That's afflicted the Tennessee kicker Baronis, and now it gets Maury at the other end. The wind is picking up, as we said.
It's a good thing you and I are not in the golf course right now. This is all this wind.
That's a good point. Maury has made a field goal, missed a field goal today. Chris Chambers on that last drive was sensational. The 39-yard reverse gave him great field position, and here he kicks into the wind and puts it on the ground, and it's picked up by, well, Casey Kramer finally reels it in. And the tight end out of Dartmouth lumbers ahead. He's out to the 39-yard line and brought down by Goodman. 19-yard return. Culpepper just led his team into the end zone. What can Kerry Collins do here in the third? Daunte Culpepper just ran it in from 5 yards away. Collins threw a first-half touchdown pass. 10-7 Miami on top. First, second-half possession for the Titans, 37-yard line. Gibbons, who has not caught a pass today, is in motion. Henry in the backfield for the injured Chris Brown. He started today, and he's brought down at the 43-yard line by Ronaldo Hill on a gain of 5 yards. Collins, he talked just before the regular season, he was signed, so he's behind in learning the plays.
Yeah, and he actually used a wristband. You look at him on his left wrist, he has a wristband, and they won't call the play in the formation to him in the huddle. They'll actually call a color and a number. It's all coded on his wristband. He flips to that color code, and that's how he calls the play. He said it's never done it before and hits his brain a little bit differently.
Henry again, 2nd and 5. Wheels his way before he's brought down by Crowder. It's a gain of 3, and he's out to the 45-yard line.
And not a lot of teams in the National Football League do it that way. And what happens is when you hear the play in your headset, a picture of that play automatically snaps into your mind. And for Kerry, he said in the beginning, I was just reading the play off there. I walk up to the line of scrimmage, I was still thinking about what it was. So now he looks at the play, he memorizes the play, and then he calls the play in the huddle.
Amano still taking the plays of the injured Pillar at the left guard. 2 tight ends in there, including Scaife and Troop for Collins. Pocket goes down, and so does Collins at the 37. Second sack on Collins this afternoon. It's 3 and out. Taylor and Traylor were there to devour Collins, losing 7. They got a punt.
Well, this has been the thorn in the side for the Titans. 3 or 4 times during the course of the game, Kerry Collins has made some bad decisions. That's a bad decision in that situation. Nothing there, throw it away and live for another down.
So 7 possessions for Tennessee, 3 punts, 2 turnovers, a touchdown pass, and a missed field goal is Hentrick, the ex-Green Bay Packer, gets ready to punt to Wes Welker. Former Oklahoma High School Player of the Year. It's a fumble by Welker and picked up on the play by Finnegan, the rookie, at the 13-yard line. Finnegan, who is out of Milton, Florida, and a rookie and playing the nickel and the dime today, comes up with a huge play, a turnover for Miami, and a flag is down.
Kevin, Jeff Fisher said special teams would probably be the difference in today's game. You looked at both punt returns. Both teams have put the ball on the ground, and this one's just devastating for the Dolphins.
Welker fumbled 5 times a season ago on punt returns, which was second most in the NFL, and back of Wade, who is in this game as well, the receiver for Tennessee. He was undrafted, and he went to the Chargers, played a game, was let go. He was reeled in by Miami and had a kick return of 95 yards his rookie year. This penalty appears to be against the Dolphins.
And if you don't take care of things in the kicking game, you lose. And you go back, you don't have to go back any further than last week against Buffalo. They get a punt blocked here at home, and they wind up losing to the Bills in a close game.
During the kick, holding of the return team. Penalties decline. Ball belongs to Tennessee. First down.
And now you get a turnover on a punt return, and you have the momentum you just came out of halftime with the score, and you're up 10-7, and now you give the Titans a short field.
And they've got the ball with about 7:06 to play in the third at the 13-yard line. This is really going to test as Finnegan is the one to swallow up the ball. He's made an imprint on this team. He was a low draft choice to begin with. He's out of Samford College in Birmingham, Alabama. He was a 7th-round pick.
Any foul on the kicking play?
Two tight ends, Scaife and Troop. And still some discussion. Titans opening up this season with 5 of their first 6 opponents who had winning records a season ago, and 4 of the 6 on the road. So a tough way to begin for this Tennessee team. 13-yard line, 1st and 10. It's Henry. A Troop block and a stiff arm into Crowder, and a tackle by Thomas. And the ball is down to the 8 on a gain of 5. Gibbons is down, hurting with an ankle, it looks like, at about the 10-yard line on the sideline.
I've been impressed with Travis Henry. You know, I keep on referring to his size. He's not the biggest player, but he's already rushed for 66 yards today, and some of them have been physical runs. He knows how to finish a run. You watch him there at the end, stiff arm, Channing Crowder. That's impressive. On the sidelines, he finds a way to get physical.
And he's had a turf toe, too, in fact, in a walking boot just last week. Timeout at 6:51. A fumbled punt return by Miami. Gave it to the 13 to Tennessee after a run to the 8-yard line. It is 2nd down and 5. Gibbons is out injured, and in now in his place, Brandon Jones and Wade. 2nd down and 5.
Audible. Kerry Collins saw the pressure from the safeties coming up. He audibles. Now the Dolphins audible out of the blitz.
Oh, and everybody's moving. Holiday said he saw somebody move on that line. Maybe Benji Olsen.
And that's one of the problems for Kerry Collins. When you recognize the blitz from the Miami Dolphin defense and you audible, then they audible back out of the blitz. That's referred to as audible zone, and it's one of the most frustrating things for a quarterback.
Offense, illegal snap by the center. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
That's Kevin Mawai.
And you think you've done your homework all week, Kerry Collins, and you say, anytime I see that safety come walking down the weak side, I know they're going to bring that 4-week blitz. And then I'm going to counter with an audible, quick 3-step throw. When you do that, they check out of the blitz, and now you're stuck with the ball in your hand.
Wade is out. Troop is in, the tight end for Tennessee. 2nd down 10. Back at the 13. Here's where they originally started. Henry. Carter got a hand on him, and then Tillman and Thomas bring him down after a gain of 4 to the 9.
You get these opportunities, you got to find a way to finish them. In other words, you can't settle for field goals here, and this is a wasted opportunity if you're not able to convert this situation. When you talk about a game that's so close and a game that's probably going to come down to a field goal either way, the team that can be better in the red zone, the team that can come away with more 7s and 3s is going to win this football game.
Collins has hit 5 different receivers on 3rd down. Jones atop your screen, Bennett at the bottom. Scaife is in the backfield with Henry. 3rd and 6. Looking for the tight end. He's got him. That's Scaife, who caught a touchdown pass earlier. He's at the 3. Brought down by Sprague, very close to a 1st down, about a 5.5-yard gain. Where the tight ends have been big for Jeff Fisher this afternoon. Scaife, as we said, caught the 27-yard touchdown pass in the 1st half from Collins.
And they told us yesterday that, keep an eye on the tight ends. They must have seen something on film that really felt like there was maybe a mismatch that they could really take advantage of. And the tight ends for the Titans have been involved today and have made a lot of big plays in the passing game. 4th and a long one. They're going to settle for 3 and perhaps tie a 22-yard field goal by Baronis, which ties the game at 10 with 4:42 to play in the 3rd. Tennessee cashes in on the fumble punt return, but Saban's happy they did not get 6 on the play.
has just nailed a 22-yard field goal after a punt return was muffed, fumbled by Wes Welker, and he's now back to get this kickoff at the 1-yard line. We're tied at 10. Collins touchdown pass in the first half, a Culpepper touchdown run for Miami in the second. And the ball goes down for a third time in the second half off the tee because of the wind.
I'm going to start blaming these kickers. It has to be perfect. It just has to be on that tee just perfect. The right tilt, the right angle. These kickers. And the other thing is, you know, the infield is always a problem for kickers, and I'll tell you why.
There it goes again.
There it is again. But the infield's a problem because when they plant their foot, they slide a little bit on that infield, that dirt. And that's unsettling to kickers, especially in terms of extra points and field goals.
How are kickers viewed in the locker room?
Some of them are different. You know, let's be honest with each other. But I'll tell you what, they have two pretty good kickers, and one in particular, Hendrick. I like him, and you have to keep an eye on him. The Dolphins talked all week about trickery in the kicking game, and it starts with Hendrick.
He was a high school quarterback. Woolfolk holds it. Welker returns it from the 10-yard line for Miami. And brought down on the play nicely by the reserve running back, Quentin Ganther, a rookie out of Utah, 24-yard return. And the ball is to the 33-yard line. There's a look at Jason Taylor.
Keep an eye on Jason Taylor. Here's your franchise Pro Bowl defensive end playing special teams. And watch this effort. I mean, he's trying to block this field goal. And you don't think it's important to him. He's trying to win a football game. He's trying to right this ship, and that's something impressive when you see one of your best defensive players making that kind of effort in the kicking game.
Titans line up with 4 linebackers, 3 defensive backs, 4 on the line, 1st and 10 from the 33 for Culpepper. Always looking for McMichael, who is covered by one of those 4 linebackers, Keith Bullock. Incomplete pass as we take you to New York and James Brown.
Hey, Kevin, into the fourth quarter in Pittsburgh. It's a close affair. Part of the reason here, Carson Palmer tosses a pick to Ike Taylor, who returns it 34 yards. Willie Parker on 4th and goal from the 1 takes it across to make it a 17-14 Steelers lead. Kevin, I love that kicker-friendly response that Rich Gannon gave you about how they're viewed in the locker room. Back to Kevin.
Hey, JB, we've been talking about that all afternoon. Thank you. Cincy, by the way, has won 2 of the last 3 in Pittsburgh. It's 2nd down and 10 at the 33. Culpepper outside. He's got McMichael, the tight end. Thornton was covering 37-yard line, gain of 4. First catch today by the tight end. Sunday Game Center is live and the crowd is growing at CBS Sports Line. Follow every game with lightning fast scoring. Challenge a friend and heads up fantasy football and play against others in Trivia Tower. It's all free at CBSSportsLine.com. Third down. 5 to go. Extra defensive back has been brought in. That makes 5 in the secondary for Tennessee. Welker is a slot receiver at the bottom of your screen for Culpepper. Oh, and he's hit, and Vanden Bosch brings him down. A sack back at the 27. 3rd sack on Culpepper today, and that means 13 sacks on him, and Vanden Bosch gets his 2nd of the year.
Then it's easier for Vanden Bosch and this defense to know where Daunte Culpepper is going to be. He's not moving around as much in the pocket. We talked about that earlier, and that makes Kyle Vanden Bosch's job a whole lot easier.
Loss of 8 back to the 30, and so Donnie Jones has got a punt. The Pac-Man Jones back inside the 25. Flag is down. Hang time of just under 5 seconds. Pac-Man from the 15-yard line. Brought down by David Bowens. Another flag has been thrown, and somebody stepped out of bounds because an official on the near side has tossed his hat in. A lot going on in that 56-yard punt with the 8-yard Pac-Man Jones return for the Tennessee Titans. Two winless teams are tied at 10 late 3rd quarter here in hot Miami. And Jeff Fisher trying to get off a 6 consecutive road game losing streak coming into this afternoon. Both teams losing last week. Buffalo here in Miami to the Dolphins, and the Chargers took care 40-7 of Tennessee out in California.
There are 2 fouls on the play. During the return, illegal block in the back, return team. That penalty's declined. During the kick, holding, number 37 in the return team. Penalized from the end of the kick, half the distance to the goal. First down.
37 is reserve defensive back Calvin Lowry, who you see right there. We're tied at 10 with 3.5 to play in the third. We go back to JB in New York in our studios.
Kevin, the Colts knew that points would be hard to come by against that stout Jacksonville defense. Manning, with plenty of time, finds a wide open Dallas Clark 30-yard strike. 14-7, Indy leads it. Start of the fourth quarter of play in Indy. Back to Kevin and Rich.
Dallas Clark caught a touchdown game 1 in that Manning Bowl in New York against the Giants. Thank you, JP. Here's a 1st and 10, 7-yard line for Kerry Collins. A fake to Lendell White. And looking for the tight end. That was Troop, and it's incomplete. And the coverage on the play by Will Allen and Ronaldo Hill. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, a little too much air on that one. When you have him open like this, you got to hit him. And he's waiting for that crossing route. Troop's working all the way across the field. That's got a little hockey on it. That ball was flobbing around in the air a little bit. It's got to straighten that out. When you got him that wide open, you got to find a way to hit him.
Daniels is the 5th Miami defensive back. Eugene Amano is still playing the left guard. 2nd and 10. Lendell White. There's a block by Bell, and he is smothered by Thomas and by Jason Taylor after a gain of 2 to the 10.
Well, one of the reasons why you're seeing so much tight end, 2 tight end formations from the Titans is the fact that the Titans did not dress Hall, their fullback, today, and so Norm Chow's chose to go with these heavier 2 tight end sets, move that extra tight end, the H-back, around to get into positions where he can act as a fullback in terms of blocking and pass protection.
Bennett has not caught a pass in the second half. 3rd down and 8. A 6th defensive back has been put in by the Dolphins, Jeremiah Bell. There's Gibbons, who works his way into the grasp of Bell. A 1st down catch and run of 20 yards. He's out to the 30-yard line, and that is a 1st down for Tennessee.
Well, they've been victimized in their pressure packages. Zach Thomas told us that during the week. And when you blitz, you're in man-to-man coverage. And when you miss a tackle like that, there's yards after the catch for Givens.
Givens, over the last 2 years, has converted every 3rd down reception with New England and now Tennessee into a 1st down. That is a great note.
And sometimes in these situations, if you call the right protection from a Tennessee standpoint and you block them up, it gives Kerry Collins just enough time to find the open receiver and really gut somebody.
Givens was down, you may recall, earlier in this half with an ankle. He got up and left and then came back in, and here he is now. Looks perhaps a little winded. But Pat McGrath, our statistician, fills us in 31 consecutive 3rd down receptions for a 1st down. Collins has now hit 7 different receivers on 3rd down, so I guess that's as great a statistic as any to gauge how comfortable a quarterback is in the system.
Kevin, it really is, and it shows that he's more comfortable. He's spreading the ball around. He's getting everybody involved in the passing game, and it just shows you that each week he plays, he gets a little bit further along in terms of his comfort level and his understanding of the system, and that's why the Tennessee Titans signed Kerry Collins.
Jones will be taking the place of Givens, who is on the sideline and catching his breath. Travis Daniels is now taking the place of Goodman at the corner. 4 in the secondary, 1st and 10. Collins to go back and throw. Pressure up the middle from Carter. And this is off to Lendell White, who is brought down on the play by Zach Thomas. 32-yard line and a gain of 2.
And you see Givens come back in the game, and they can ill afford to lose players like David Givens. And you know, they don't have a ton of playmakers to begin with. And I think when you look back at the fact that the salary cap really forced them to rebuild this organization, and as Jeff Fisher said, we got so young so fast, and so this is an organization that's in transition and needs some veteran players like Givens to really step up and make plays for them.
Goodman becomes the 5th defensive back. 2nd down and 8. Blitzes on by Thomas. Collins looking for Bennett, and he had him, and he was guarded by Daniels, who had given him some separation, and it's incomplete.
And if Kerry Collins could have bought himself just another second there, he had a chance for a big one. And you watch, he's holding it, he throws it a little bit early, and Bennett's not quite out of his break, and that's too hard to anticipate where he's going to wind up on that corner route.
Bennett has had some big catches today of 36 yards and of 17 yards back in the first half.
And they're not that far off. They're just missing some of these opportunities. They're missing some of these throws just by a little bit, and that's the difference so far today.
It is 3rd down and 8. 5 in the secondary for Miami. Jones taking the place at wide receiver for Gibbons, and you can see the movement and the subsequent yellow on the field.
I think Benji Olsen got a little antsy there in his stance. He recognized the pressure was coming, the blitz up the middle.
This rebuilt Tennessee team, when you get rid of as many salary cap casualties as Tennessee has.
Ball start. Right guard of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
It can be a very painful transition, but Olsen and Pillar have been pillars, pardon the pun, on that offensive line, although Pillar is out right now with an ankle and Amano taking his place.
And I think that's one area where they're better. And you talk about free agency, you look at Kevin White, the center, the Pro Bowler who came over from the Jets. He's going to add stability to that group up front. A smart veteran player who makes all the calls for them and really settles them in on that front line.
6 in the secondary for Miami, 3rd and 13. They need the 40-yard line. Good block by Roos. Collins again, looking for Williams, covered by Ronaldo Hill. There is no flag on the field. It is 4th and 13, and the Tennessee Titans have got a punt.
Well, they knew, the Titans talked to us. They said in the first 2 quarters last week, there wasn't so much pressure from this Dolphins team, but in the 4th quarter, they really lit things up and got after Buffalo and pressured them. And so they're expecting to pick up right where they left off. And in 3rd downs today, the Dolphins have blitzed consistently this Tennessee Titan offense.
Russ Welker is back. He played at Texas Tech. Craig Hendrick, 13 years out of Notre Dame. Welker lets it go. What was a bad snap is out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. The snap came from Ken Amato, and Hendrick really got that ball well.
You talk about turning a bad play into a good play, and that's just a great play by Hendrick, catching the ball and then getting it out quickly and getting off a great punt.
That was a good-looking punt of 61 yards. Next Sunday, LaDainian Tomlinson sparks the Chargers against Ray Lewis and the Ravens. Nightcap, Brady and the Patriots against the Bengals. Check local listings for the game and time in your area, all beginning with the NFL Today from New York. 11-yard line, 1st and 10 for Daunte Culpepper. Ronnie Brown. Forced by Bullock. Banged out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Gain of 5.
Well, Kevin, we've talked so much about quarterbacks' arm strength, but keep in mind, good quarterbacks use their entire body when they throw. And you watch Culpepper here on the left when he's with the Vikings, a healthy Culpepper. Watch him finish this throw. He finishes with his upper body. His right leg comes through the throw. That's a strong throw and a strong finish. And now you watch him since the injury, and he's not as strong in the pocket. His arm comes through, but watch his lower body and his right leg. He's not finishing with his throw, and that's really affected his accuracy and his velocity on his throw.
2nd down and 5. Brown hit by Hope. Waylaid across the way by Starks. Gain of about 1.5 yards, and he's out to the 17-yard line.
Well, and that just comes with time. Daunte Culpepper is going to have to get stronger. When he told us yesterday his leg is not completely 100% healthy in terms of his strength. That's really what's fell behind. And when he gets that back, I anticipate him finishing throws, using his lower body, and having better escapability in the pocket.
Welker becomes the 3rd receiver. 5th defensive back. Finnegan is in the game. 3rd down and 4 for Culpepper. And he's got Chambers to the 24. Hit by Hope. Gain of 7. He gets the 1st down as the 3rd quarter concludes. Each quarterback has scored. We're tied at 10. It's really tough to come back from 0-3.
Yeah, and you see both of these teams slugging it out, and they realize the significance of this game. And a game like this can really turn your season around. And if you have any playoff aspirations, either of these teams, you're going to have to find a way to get it done today.
Tennessee begins this fourth quarter in the regular defense, 1st and 10. 24-yard line. Ronnie Brown hit by Sermon, dragged down at the 28, gain of 4.
Yeah, one of the things we haven't visited about is Mike Mularkey. And Mike Mularkey came down here, and he had to learn a new system. The Dolphins had already been running this system, and they hired Mike Mularkey away from the Buffalo Bills, and he came down here and he was forced to kind of tweak his learning a little bit and try to find a way that he could get comfortable, get on the same page with Daunte Culpepper. He said, as a quality control coach with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that actually helped him this whole process in terms of learning the new terminology and verbiage of this system they have down here in South Florida.
2 tight ends in. Field now comes out of the backfield. 2nd down, short 6, 29-yard line. Culpepper has had a running touchdown today. Collins has thrown a touchdown pass. Second option for Culpepper. Chambers, he got it. 39-yard line, 1st down, covered by Pac-Man Jones, gain of 10.
Again, I'm watching Daunte Culpepper. His drops are bad. He's not getting away from the center with any urgency, and he's right up in the back of his offensive lineman, and he's fortunate in that situation. They had good protection. He could work to his right and find Chambers, but he's got to do a better job of getting away from the line of scrimmage with some urgency.
Josh Savage is coming on the defensive line for Tennessee. 1st and 10, 40-yard line. Ronnie Brown, Barnes a block. And the gain is to the 44-yard line. Tackle made by Sermon, gain of about 5.5 yards.
I think the expectations for Daunte Culpepper were unrealistic. Everyone felt like he was the last piece of the puzzle for this football team. But to think one guy can do it all, and then all of a sudden they're going to turn the corner because they signed Daunte Culpepper, is just not reality. And he told us the other day, hey, it's never easy. I got the impression that our football team felt like it was going to be easy because I was here. And they found out the first 2 weeks that every week they go out, it's going to be a fist fight.
Michael and Peel are the tight end. 2nd down and 4, 45-yard line just starting. Oh, there's a fumbled snap. Brown alertly read by Randy Starks out of Maryland. A loss of 3 back to the 41-yard line.
Again, right in the middle of a drive, you have something like that happen. A bad exchange from center. And I don't know if it's just they're not paying attention, they're not as dialed in, but that can't happen. Daunte Culpepper is a veteran player. Rex Hadnot's been around the league, and they got to get that straightened out. Now you put yourself in a 3rd down situation. Not very good if you're the Dolphins.
Sermon is out. 5th defensive back. Finnegan is in. 3rd and 7. They need the 49. Welker at the top of your screen is the 4th receiver. McMichael is in the slot with Chambers. Good block by L.J. Shelton. Here comes Mahaluna, the rookie. And they go downfield, incomplete. They were looking for Booker. The coverage on the play by Lamont Thompson. And they can't do anything with the possession. And they have got a punt. The Dolphins punting for a 2nd consecutive time.
Pretty good protection. He's moving around. And then once he gets flushed, he's trying to give Chambers a chance. But you got to keep it on the field. Actually, it's Booker. You got to keep it on the field and give a receiver like Marty Booker a chance to go up and get it.
They did move from the 11-yard line, though, up to the 42-yard line, so a little breathing space. Donnie Jones will punt. He's out of LSU. He played for Saban on that national championship team at LSU and gets off a rocket, which Pac-Man Jones will watch sail over his head and into the end zone. 58-yard punt. So Collins and Tennessee will get it back, and the clock at 12:03 in a tie game. Wind has been a factor in this game with kickoffs. With the wind, they've all been touchbacks, but into the wind, it's been a little bit short, and that is what the Tennessee offense is going into right now, into the wind. It's Travis Henry. Johnson outside and forced out of bounds by Crowder along with Thomas. It's a loss of about 4 on the play. I thought maybe he gained about an inch or 2, but now they're going to mark him out. The out of bounds at the 15.
And Kevin, the wind is a factor. You look at both of these kickers have been driving them through the end zone, and in the 4th quarter, we talked about it's probably going to come down to a kick. and you'd rather be the Dolphins kicking with the wind than into it.
And Tennessee would probably have to kick off the dirt, which Barona struggled with before the game as we were charting.
Great point.
Second down, 15. They need the 30. Wade is the third receiver. Here's Henry. Oh, great play by Andre Goodman. He played for the Detroit Lions. He comes here as a free agent. A loss of 3 on the play, so on 2 successive plays, they've lost 8 yards in 2 downs. Now they have third and about 18.
It's just a great open field tackle by Andre Goodman. And you watch Travis Henry, we talked about his elusiveness, his ability to bounce runs, and that's a great job in space by Goodman.
6 defensive backs. Jeremiah Bell has come in as the 6th defensive back. Third will call it officially 19. They need the 30. Here comes Holiday. Collins throws to Bennett. He is tackled at the 26-yard line by Hill. He is shy of a first down by 5 yards. He picks up 16, but they've got to punt the ball.
Well, that's not a good throw. That's a great throw by Kerry Collins. Watch him step up in the pocket and throw this ball on the move. He anticipates where Bennett's going to be out of the cut. He actually throws that ball before Drew Bennett makes that inside cut.
So Hendrick to punt. This will be the 5th time he has booted it, but it will be into the wind, and you see Wes Welker back at the 30-yard line. '23-yard line for Welker. Oh, drilled by Lowry. 9-yard return. Flag is down at the 34. It was a 50-yard punt and a 9-yard return, and Lowry with a terrific special teams tackle. He is a rookie out of Penn State. He was a great returner for Joe Paterno. And he has even more on his mind than that. His dad was at Desert Storm. He participated in that for the U.S. Armed Forces.
Illegal block in the back. Number 28 of the return team. A 10-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Rich Gannon was telling us before about how these 2 0-2 teams were striving to show something today, and emotions are high, intensity is thriving, and this hit has typified the game. Tennessee just punting the ball. They come out in a 4-3-4 defense. First down and 10, 23-yard line for Culpepper. Nice sack. The rookie Mahalana comes in and makes the grab. That's the 4th sack, driving him back to the 12-yard line, and a loss on the play of 9 yards.
And you can see the frustration on the face of Daunte Culpepper. He's getting forced to step up, and then when he steps up, the push up the middle really makes it impossible for him to set his feet and throw it. And you watch him slam. He's tired. He's in there jawing at that offensive line to give him some more time in terms of protection.
Mahalona, who is a rookie out of Tennessee with his first career sack, 2nd and 19. They need the 33. 5th defensive back is Finnegan for the Tennessee defense. Good time for Culpepper. Ronnie Brown gets by Finnegan, gets by Hainsworth, and he's drilled 19-yard line by Hope, who's having a better game. He had 2 subpar games to begin the season as he comes over from Pittsburgh. Nice tackle there. Gain is 6. Player is down now, too. The ball's at the 19.
Well, he is nosy. You talk about Hope, and he finds a way to get involved in run support. He's always around the ball, and he was a good addition for them. He's coming over from Pittsburgh.
Player is down. Looks like Travis LeBoy. 9:17 to play. LeBoy walks under his own power off the field. Savage has taken his place. 3rd and 13. They need the 33. 5 in the secondary for Tennessee. McMichael hit by Finnegan, driven out of bounds by Hill, short of the first down, near the 30-yard line. Gain of 9. They got a punt, and Tennessee's defense does their job.
Yeah, they accomplished what they wanted to do in that situation. They're just playing zone coverage, want to keep everything in front, force Daunte Culpepper to check it down and make him punt.
Pac-Man Jones has 1 punt return for a touchdown in his career. That was last year in his rookie campaign. Donnie Jones will punt at the 15. Pac-Man Jones back at the 25. This is returnable, yep. From the 24. Oh, how did he get away?
He's got a chance.
And look at the blocking, and there goes Pac-Man Jones.
Oh, and they got a penalty.
And a penalty flag is down at the 32-yard line.
Well, and that just kills you. You know, you get an opportunity like that, a low kick, a great returnable ball. Pac-Man Jones, you always have a chance with him. Then you get a holding penalty, probably away from the play that was really not even an issue, an insignificant.
Jeff Fisher began in this league as a special teams guy, and he's a huge proponent of. In fact, he told us last night special teams will win the game, and that could have been the game winner right there.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 35 of the return team.
Rookie.
10-yard penalty. First down.
Quentin Ganther. That wipes out a 76-yard punt return, which would have been a touchdown and would have given Tennessee the lead with 8:32 to play in the game.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Yummylicious sandwiches on freshly baked bread. Subway, eat fresh. And by Schick Quattro Titanium. The power of 4 meets titanium.
So a touchdown punt return wiped away from Pac-Man Jones because a rookie had a block in the back, and it's at the 23, make it the 22-yard line where Collins has it 1st and 10. The tight end Scaife lines up in the backfield, and Collins right to work. Wisely throws it away. Everybody was covered, incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, sometimes you just got to be aware of situations and where you're at on the field. And Quentin Ganther, the rookie, this is just a poor decision. He doesn't even need to block him in that situation. They have extra blockers there, and it's just a rookie making a bad decision. And Kevin, that's why the rookies.
Eddie Jackson is the 5th defensive back, just brought off the sideline for Miami. 2nd down 10. Tennessee has only run 3 plays in Miami territory in the second half. Wade, Gibbons, and Bennett are the receivers. Always looking for Bennett. He had Bennett again, and he just overshoots him, and he had one-on-one coverage with Eddie Jackson. Incomplete pass. And there's a player down, and that is the guy taking the place of Zach Pillar. That is Amano, who is down, and he is holding on to his left leg. So Pillar is out with an ankle, and his replacement, Eugene Amano, is now down.
And they're thin, Kevin. I think they've only dressed 2 other linemen, Amano and Loper. So I don't know that they're pretty short on the offensive line right now.
We have not seen Pillar since he went down much earlier in the game, and we were told he may return as they were looking and rewrapping his ankle. So there you see David Loper, who is 2 years out of Texas Tech. He did play last year. Coming up in the Subway postgame show, JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer have highlights, scores, and all the information you need in the NFL on this Week 3 in the Subway postgame show. So in this game, both quarterbacks have scored. Collins through the air on a 27-yard touchdown pass, and Culpepper on a 5-yard burst on a running touchdown. We've had a couple field goals. We've had a missed field goal or 2, and we are tied at 10.
And Kevin, there was a hand signal there from Kerry Collins to Drew Bennett. It looked like the little indecision on what Drew Bennett was going to do. It looks like Kerry was expecting him to run like a stop route. Drew Bennett beat the corner right at the line of scrimmage and broke off his route and kept going. And there's a little uncertainty when you watch Kerry Collins do that throw. He wasn't sure what Bennett was going to do. And again, that comes with time. It comes with reps. It comes with working together and developing a relationship with your receivers and knowing exactly what they're going to do in each and every situation.
So we're looking at 54, Eugene Amano, who got injured on that play.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like
left against Kevin Carter. So they're still looking at him. Loper has come in. He played 1 game last season. He was inactive for the 15 others. This has been an interesting season, of course, as you take a look at the new quarterback this season for the Titans, Kerry Collins, 33 years of age, 12th year in the NFL.
Kerry Collins been pretty efficient. You know, the 1 interception you really can't pin on him. He gets knocked down as he's thrown the ball by Jason Taylor early in the first quarter, and Zach Thomas makes the interception. But other than that, he's looked solid to me today, Kevin. He's played with a great deal of poise. And you can see, we talked about the situation that he's under. He's under a lot. He's in a stressful position. To come in here with a team that he hasn't spent any time with in the offseason and perform the way he's performed today is pretty impressive.
And there's always a thought in the back of a lot of Titans fans' minds about their quarterback, Vince Young, who has not played today, and we were told probably would not play today.
Well, they're at the point where they have to go with one of them, and they really feel like their best chance right now is with the experienced veteran, Kerry. Vince Young is going to be a great player in this league. He's got a lot of ability, and Jeff Fisher told us he's not that far away. They know that he's going to be good, but they don't want to rush him into action and have bad things happen to him early. 6 in the Miami secondary. Bell is in. Jackson, the 2 extra defensive backs. Brandon Jones is a receiver. As is Williams atop your screen with a couple of tight ends. 3rd and 10. Henry with the block. Troop over his head. Covered on the play by Will Allen, the ex-New York Giant. And they got to punt the ball for a 3rd consecutive possession. Well, that's just good coverage, and Kerry Collins knew he had nowhere to go with it, so he just did the right thing, just threw it away there and lived for another down. 2nd consecutive 3 and out. Hendrick the punt. Welker back at the 35. Into the wind, too, this punt will come. Both teams have all their timeouts remaining with 8:13 to play in the 4th. Caught. Welker drifting back to the 29-yard line. Good hang time of about 5 seconds on a 49-yard Hendrick punt. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Katie Couric gives us an inside look at Condoleezza Rice. Followed by a new episode of The Amazing Race and back-to-back premieres of Cold Case and Without a Trace tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. The former Pro Bowl quarterback Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan in Miami. Now Culpepper takes over with his team at the 29. Now you want a long drive, put together a nice 6-7 minute drive, 10-12 play drive, and go in and score and close out this game. That's what Daunte Culpepper is talking to the guys about in the huddle right now. 4-3-4 defense for Tennessee. Booker has been shut out this half, a receiver for the Miami Dolphins, and this is Brown. Wrapped up, walked down. Defense by Thornton, gain of 3 out to the 32. Well, it's been a frustrating day for Daunte Culpepper. You really can't pin it on him. He's tried to move around a little bit, but the protection has not been great. He's been sacked 4 times today, and we've seen the frustration right here. He's expecting more out of that group up front, especially when you consider the fact that he's not 100% just yet. He doesn't have all that strength back in that leg and all the mobility that he needs. Josh Savage is the only non-starter on the defensive line. 2nd down and 7. Brown, and he got a great block on the play from Hadnot. Brought down by Pac-Man Jones, weaving his way to the 42-yard line on a scamper of 27 yards and a 1st down. And there was just no one in the middle of the field, and Titans are playing for pass. You watch Keith Bullock, he gets blocked by Hadnot, and there's just a big lane up the middle for Ronnie Brown, but David Thornton is nowhere in your picture. He was looking out on the outside for pass. You see he's got his back turned to it. He never even sees Ronnie Brown bust up through the middle. What a great play and a great run by Ronnie Brown. And Hadnot's block on Bullock a key. Brown's got 84 yards on the ground. The Tennessee 41, 1st and 10. Suggs is in. Reverse to Booker. Oh, and he's got blockers, including Hadnot. And he's brought down on the play by Hope. The gain is to the 23, an 18-yard reverse, the 2nd reverse, which has been successful against the Titan defense today. And it's the timing. It comes right after a big play, and it's the timing of it. And that's the thing that Mike Mularkey has such a great feel for as a play caller. Just when the Titans think that they're going to close things up, they're getting a heavy formation, they're thinking run inside, and Mularkey drops a reverse on him. 2 tight ends, McMichael and Peel. Timeout. Oh, player is down on the far side. This is a Tennessee player at the 28-yard line. And the other thing about when we visited with Mike Mularkey, he said he's still trying to find out about all of his personnel. He's trying to find out who his reverse runner is and who's the player who is the high school quarterback that can throw the flea flicker. And that's the more time that he gets a chance to spend with these guys, the more of these gadget plays they get a chance to work on in practice, the more you'll see of them from the Miami Dolphins this year. I think the down player is Robert Smith, who came in battling a hamstring, and no, it's Hainsworth. And he's holding on to his left leg, left thigh. And they can't afford to lose any of those big guys up front. And that's what hurt them a week ago. They want to roll those guys in and keep them fresh, but they got wore out last week against the Chargers. They played too many plays, too many snaps, and really had nothing left in the fourth quarter. You look at Van den Bosch. I mean, look at this. He's got sweat all over his body. He's got dirt up and down his legs. He's bleeding from the side of his neck. I mean, these guys are putting everything they have into it. I mean, this is a battle of wills right now between these two football teams, and it's going to be a great finish inside 6 minutes.
LeBoy is in. Mahalona is in on that defensive line. 1st and 10, 23-yard line. Ronnie Brown. Wrapped up by Pac-Man Jones. And he is corkscrewed his way to the 23 with no gain on the play. So LeBoy and Mahalona on that line. You mentioned Van den Bosch. And they've also got Randy Starks.
And this is not where they've done a good job today in the red zone, especially on 1st down. And you get a gain of 1. And this is where you need some explosive plays in this part of the field. And they've not been very good in the red zone, especially on 1st down.
Welker's the 3rd receiver, so a 5th defensive back. And Cortland Finnegan has been added for Tennessee. It is 2nd down and 10. Culpepper fumble. Bullock knocks it away, and Jay Cox falls on the loose ball at the 27-yard line. That is the 5th sack on Culpepper and the 15th time that he has been decked behind the line of scrimmage this year.
And that's all on Daunte Culpepper. They bring the blitz. They're short. He knows it, and he knows he can't hold the ball. That ball's got to come out, and that sack is on Daunte Culpepper. They're one short in their protection. Bullock is free, and Daunte knows he has to get rid of it. You just can't have those type of mistakes in this part of the field when the game's on the line inside 5 minutes.
A 6th defensive back, Vincent Fuller, put in by Tennessee. 3rd and 14. They need the 13. Ronnie Brown. A block by Kerry. And a tackle on the play by Starks. Gain of 5. Mark him at the 21.
And they're just playing for the field goal. And that's a great job of recovery by the Tennessee Titans. You know, they give up a couple big plays, they give up the big draw, and then right after that, they go get the reverse dropped on them. But they button down, they found a way to stop them and hold them to a field goal.
So here is Olindo Mare, who has missed a 30-yard field goal today. He has made one from 40. This is a 39-yard attempt, and this would give Miami the lead. The snap from Gannon and the hold from Jones, and this one is good, and Miami is on top with 3:39 to play in the 4th quarter. A 39-yard field goal after 3 consecutive punts by Miami. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have scores and highlights. Subway postgame show coming up next on CBS. Well, there was a reverse by Booker on that drive, and that was a big play. Also, they had a 27-yard run by Ronnie Brown, the 18-yard reverse to Booker, and they come up with a 39-yard field goal, which makes it 13-10. And now you shift your thoughts to Jeff Fisher and his 0-2 Tennessee Titans with young players on that offense, but a veteran quarterback at the controls in Kerry Collins.
And he has to be aware of the situation. 3:39 left. He's got all his timeouts, and he's got to be going through his mind and thinking about situational football. You know, once they cross midfield, he's got to be thinking about pressures. He's got to be thinking about blitzes. When he gets in 2nd and long or he gets in 3rd down situations, he's got to be anticipating pressure from this Miami defense. That's the thought process you have to have. That's the alerts and the heads-ups you have to be sharing with your teammates in the huddle, and that's something you expect from a veteran player like Kerry Collins.
Samare with the wind at his back will kick off, and Wade is deep back in the end zone. He'd like to return it, but he can't because it's out of the end zone. That's the 3rd touchback for Olindo Mare today.
Kevin, I think I could kick some of them out of the end zone. These kickers are booming them. And you know, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of wind out there, but it is significant.
Tennessee in the second half, 1 first down and 46 total yards, and only 3 plays run in Miami territory in the second half. So Collins at the 20 with the touchback, 1st and 10. I think his process now is geared with what, 3:39 to play, Rich, and 3 timeouts.
I just want to see him be smart in these situations. You know, in his past, there's always been a couple times during the course of the game you just hit yourself in the head and say, what is he thinking there? Just be smart in this situation to give yourself a chance.
1st and 10. And he's got Drew Bennett, who is tackled by Ronaldo Hill, 30-yard line, 1st down, gain of 11. Bennett's had some big catches today of 36 yards. And earlier of 16 in this 4th quarter.
And you always want to start off a drive like this with a completion to kind of get you going a little bit. It's just what they did there to Drew Bennett.
Eddie Jackson has come in as a 5th defensive back. They've taken out Spriggan, the linebacker. It's a 1st and 10, 31-yard line. Gibbons on the move. Travis Henry. Oh, is he drilled? Traylor and Vonnie Holliday push him for a 1-yard loss back to the 30-yard line.
Well, that's a mismatch right there. It's a little bit of a size disadvantage. I'm going to guess it's about 100 pounds difference there. Travis Henry's got no chance. When Tractor Trailer gets his mitts on you, you're going down. He's a big man in the middle. He came into the league as a linebacker and ate himself into being a defensive lineman.
But he's played for 3 Super Bowl teams, so he's had success. 2nd down 11 for Kerry Collins. And then it's caught by Gibbons and bolts off his arm, and he's by midfield to the 42-yard line. No flags on the play. Makes it to the 42 and tackled on the play by Allen, a 27-yard catch and run, and the run was terrific.
And he was trying to kick himself out of this, and that's just a great play and a great tackle by Tillman. But Gibbons almost broke that one.
We're at the 2-minute warning with Tennessee on the move and down by 3. What a game in Miami between these 2 winless teams. Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining. Miami up by 3 on a field goal. Tennessee is driving, 43-yard line, 1st and 10, but they got the dirt infield to work with and the wind in their face.
But they got him right where they want him. If you're Kerry Collins, you got to understand that you got a chance to close him out. 1st and 10 on the plus side of the field. You're in 4-down territory. Just be smart with the football.
5 defensive backs. Wade is the 3rd receiver. Collins. Oh, it's intercepted off of Bennett, who had it ricochet off his palm, and it's picked up by Travis Daniels. He missed training camp. He missed the first 2 games because of a high ankle sprain, and in his first game back comes up with a sensational deflected interception.
And Kevin, we talked about when they cross midfield, anticipate pressure. You know pressure's coming. They get their hand on the ball is behind Bennett, and it just falls right into the lap of Daniels. And again, sometimes the best play is to throw it away. And you'd love to have that one back, but we talked about being a good decision maker. You knew the pressure was coming. Just be smart with the football.
He's from the Miami area. He's from Hollywood, Florida. Played at South Broward High School. And Travis Daniels comes up with his 2nd career interception. Collins throws a pick. Another turnover by Tennessee. They now have 3 on the day. Culpepper at the 31, 1st and 10. And Ronnie Brown, a block by Peel and a gang tackle at about the 31-yard line. No gain on the play.
2 things I'm talking to the guys in the huddle about. No penalties in this situation, and I'm telling Ronnie Brown to keep 2 hands on the ball and protect the ball in piles. You have to be smart. You can't give them the ball back in this situation.
The Tennessee Titans have just burned their first second-half timeout, so plenty of time at 1:48, at least in the mind of Fisher, because he can work the clock with those timeouts. But what a devastating throw by Collins, which was easily behind the receiver Bennett.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate both these teams came out here and slugged it out and battled it out, and unfortunately one of them's going to have to go home with a loss. But it could really turn, both of these teams' fortunes the opposite directions. This win could really catapult the Dolphins, and this loss could really send the Titans back home to Tennessee at 0-3 and not looking real good.
Tennessee has put in a 4th linebacker, 4 down linemen, 3 in the defensive secondary, 2nd and 10. Culpepper on the move. Hit by Thornton, slides into first base, which is at about the 32-yard line, and picked up a meager 2 yards on the play. And the clock At 1:37, another timeout taken. Tennessee burns their second timeout. So 10 seconds off the clock there.
And I like the call. You're going to have to try and get the first down because of the timeout situation. And Malarkey doesn't wait till third down. He dials it up on second down with a bootleg. And really, it gives him options. It gives Daunte Culpepper an option to get out on the edge. If he has a sure completion, he's going to take it. If not, he's going to be smart with the football. He's going to get down in bounds and force him to use that timeout.
3rd and 8 is coming up. A timeout remains. So in essence, the Tennessee Titans, if they get the ball back, can have a legitimate amount of time on the clock with which to work.
Again, he's going to get another opportunity, looks like Kerry Collins is, but he's going to have to understand time is of the essence. He's going to have to get his offensive line up to the line of scrimmage. Any completion in bounds, they're going to have to hustle to the line and try and kill the ball and clock it. They can't afford to be calling plays to the line of scrimmage and using up so much of the clock.
All right, the 2 tight ends in there. 2 linebackers now. A 5th defensive back added. 3rd down and 8. They need the 41. Blocked by Shelton. Time for Culpepper. Oh, what a catch by Welker. And that should seal it right there for Miami. To the 49-yard line. Tackle made by Hill. A 19-yard pickup and a clutch throw by Daunte Culpepper.
And it came at the right time, and they gave him protection, keeping both back, chipping as they're going out in their routes, and Daunte Culpepper makes the right throw, the right read, the right decision to Welker.
And Tennessee's just burned their final timeout.
And that's devastating. If you're Jeff Fisher and that Tennessee Titans team right on your own sidelines. And again, we talked about all the effort and the energy that goes into the game preparation during the course of the week. And it's like a final exam. You only get 16 of them. You either get a pass or a fail. And unfortunately, today for the Titans, they're going to get a fail.
Well, the 3 turnovers by the Tennessee Titans deadly, and none more vivid than the interception thrown moments ago on the deflected pass that Kerry Collins threw, intended for Bennett, and picked off by Travis Daniels. It's a 1st and 10, and down to a knee goes Culpepper. And here is that interception.
And turnovers usually tell the story in a football game, and that's been the case today. And a turnover in that situation, devastating. And I think Kerry Collins knows it. He understood the situation, the pressure. The ball gets tipped, and that's unfortunate. But when you miss a receiver that bad and behind him, and he gets his hands on it and tips it up, bad things happen. When balls get tipped, bad things happen for a quarterback.
Jeff Fisher still remains very buoyant about his ball club. He says we are getting better, and we might be better than a lot of people think. They played hard today, but they're going to come up with a loss. The Tennessee Titans are going to lose this game and drop to 0-3. Miami is going to capture their first win on the season. Daunte Culpepper has played his best game so far in a Dolphins uniform. Rich Gannon, he had run in a touchdown pass. He got a couple of field goals, and they have a 13-10 win with 23 seconds to play here against Tennessee.
Well, it wasn't always pretty for Daunte Culpepper, but the one thing you can say is he hung in there, he battled, he overcame some adversity early, he got knocked around. You look at his uniform, he's dirtied, but he hung in there and battled and gave this football team a chance to win at the end.
Tennessee has lost their 7th consecutive road game going back to last year. Hard-fought game in the 90-degree heat of Miami, Florida. The Dolphins win it by 3. For Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Miami. We'll send you to New York and James Brown for the Subway postgame show after this. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 41.